For King of Hammers here at AMADA. My name's Cameron Steele, and we're going to be having a little bit of fun talking Ultra 4 and all things surrounding King of Hammers. Quick fact about myself, this is my 4th time competing at in the Johnson Valley at King of Hammers, twice on the motorcycle. Of course, this time we'll be in the T1, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But also I was part of the level team the 2nd year that we were on the lake bed, so we missed the original 13, but Dave was kind enough to invite me to come out and change the goggles and organize for levels. So I do have a deep-seated love for this. Have been announcing here for a while. Cotton Camo, of course, a big part of the family. Someone that we recognize, someone that we love to have around. We're going to have some fun here tonight. Talk a little guff. He's going to be checking us on our facts, slapping us around a little bit. And of course, the man of the hour, Dave Cole, who seemingly has jumped into the middle of what was an empty lake bed and turned it into a 5,000 foot deep ocean. It's amazing what it has become. I'm very proud to be a part of it, and I'm really impressed with what Dave has been able to create out of off-road racing. Of course, it's Dave who has the first foul with his cell phone being on. We're live at Ultra 4, for those of you who want to share that word with your friends. Of course, we're live on Facebook as well, and live to the house here at AMADA. And I must say that for the 2nd year in a row, I'm sure it is just as spectacular this year as it was last year. This is a beautiful facility. Dave, great job at picking a winner right out of the gate to start the information show here, courtesy of 4 Wheel Parts.
Yeah, this has been an amazing opportunity. This is our first time here at AMADA. We've been at 4 Parts, and we're still affiliated with 4 Parts, obviously, 4WP. We'll have Brent up here, as always, a little later, but we had a wonderful opportunity. We've been entering our 2nd year working with AMADA, and we were just talking with them, and they have such an amazing facility here. I mean, all the machines that are out there, then the retractable roof, and this incredible auditorium, and I just thought it was perfect to have all these guys here that are here. We got a full house, and
should we talk about how good the food was?
The food was pretty awesome.
Well, maybe we shouldn't, because next year we'll have 1,000 people here.
Yeah. Well, you talked a lot about, you gave us a great intro. What were you doing in November again? Oh, yeah, you're winning the Baja 1000.
Yeah, you know, it was an honor to be able to bring that home for the family that's been working so hard behind the scenes and make it all happen. So,
yep.
But that was 2 months ago. So,
yeah,
what have you done today? I've done nothing for the last 6 weeks other than sit at my house and hang out with my daughter. So it's been really cool. I'm looking forward to getting out to the Invitational, courtesy of Monster Energy and Toyo Tires. It's going to be exciting. And I know there's a lot of questions about that, but also a lot of questions about the race that everybody's so familiar with, King of Hammers.
Yep.
Of course, Everyman Challenge, the UTVs. Big change, obviously, this year. There won't be any motos. But there's a lot going on, and really excited about what's happening. And Dave, first of all, before we get started, why? Why have we come to this spot? Why such a giant undertaking? And how have you been able, I mean, you've been able to propel the sport so far and seemingly, you know, have so many people help you carry it down the road on your back.
Well, that's what you just mentioned there is really just it. I haven't done anything. All I've done is succeeded at not blowing it up. And I've tried really hard to do that. So the reality is that the community has built it all. I mean, we joke about it a lot. It's a family, all that stuff, but it really is. I mean, I saw Harriet Helen Baker here. Steve Gardner's still sitting there. There's people that literally, it's the same people, we have racers that have been racing from the very beginning, and it's that has carried it through. It's the fans, it's the people that have built it. I literally just am trying to keep from blowing it up.
For those of you that have never been onto the lake bed, especially the T1 class, the unlimited trucks, you guys are in for a huge shock when you get there and see the amount of people that have come out to watch off-road racing in all different forms. It's spectacular, to say the very least. I was fortunate to do it in the Ultra 4, but I did it on the motorcycle, and that was crazy because the motorcycles ride on one line, and there's so you get to see all the people so clearly. In the race trucks, you don't get to really take in the fans as much, but it's going to be an exciting time. But I'm sure, Camo, you have something to say about what Dave's done and how he's built this.
I want to look forward a little bit, and you asked, you know, why are you doing it? But maybe, Cameron, you can answer this. What does it mean for the sport to be doing this? Whether it's the desert racing community, you know, pure desert racing community, or our sport, Ultra 4 racing.
You're talking about bringing desert trucks to
Yeah, bringing desert, since we have you here for a little bit at the intro of the show, what does it really mean for the industry to be bringing them to our event?
I think there's great iconic races, obviously, and there's a few of them that you really think about, and there's things that we get excited about, and this is something that we're really excited about, racing back in the California desert. For those of us who race on limited trucks, I've been racing on limited trucks for 12 years, or maybe 13 years now. I've never raced a big race in California. So this is a huge happening for us. I mean, it goes back to the years of Barstow. Score back in Lucerne Valley, I think, ended in '88. So there's been a huge gap for racing in California. But more importantly, the vibe that Ultra 4 brings, when you go to the King of the Hammers or the Everyman Challenge and see the fans interacting with the racers, how many people are on the lake bed, the live web audience, and the TV. I mean, how many of you guys saw the TV recently? I mean, they've done incredible. Yeah, round of applause for everybody at Ultra 4. I mean, it's shocking. So for us as racers, it's going to be great for us to be able to come in and be a part of that giant spectacle that's been created around the Ultra 4 cars, because we know the Ultra 4 cars, and for the racers that haven't been there, it is a sight to see. And if you are there for the unlimited truck race, you got to stay to see what the Ultra 4 cars can do, because you've never seen anything like it before until you've stood alongside that racetrack at a safe distance and seen what they can do. I mean, the stories of the hammer trails, the wrecking ball, the back door. I mean, just thinking about sledgehammer and jackhammer is something that makes chills come up my spine.
It's been a long time since we raced up sledgehammer.
Since we raced up, you say?
Yeah.
We're getting a little leak there on the trails. Is that what we're catching there? Small leak. But
that's not a small leak. That's a dam bursting open.
The dam has been exploded. And that's what we're here to leak a little bit of information, have a little bit of fun. Dave, why don't you talk us a little bit through how you see the week coming together, but maybe before you do that, let's talk about some of the partners and the people that have gotten involved with Ultra 4 and the happenings on the lake bed.
Yeah, so just to basically run through what we're going to cover here, we're going to get to the rock guys as well. We had you for a limited time, and I appreciate you coming out, so it was great to have you help us open the show. We're going to come back to the T1 trucks, the unlimited trucks here pretty quick. But I did need to talk about some sponsors. We got some new ones coming in, and quite honestly, they pay the bills. Jason or Joe from AMADA, well, I'm getting ready to go. Can one of you step up here real quick? Jason or Joe, are you here? One of you got to be here, right?
They're probably cleaning up our mess.
They're probably cleaning up from our dinner, yeah. We'll get them in a second.
While we get them, just to recognize, if you guys were out at the lake bed last year and you saw that crazy laser set up in the tent, and that was pretty out of this world for them to do that. It didn't really make sense to me till I came here and just see how these guys operate, and what a phenomenal company, and thank you for having us.
Oh, not a problem. We coming up here.
This is exactly what we do, is give you no notice.
I'm glad I was drawn up here really quick.
So we're going to jump into some other sponsors up. I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank AMADA for supporting the event, B, for making really cool stuff, and C, for having us here tonight.
I appreciate it. Not a problem. Last year was definitely a learning curve for us, and this year we're going to be much more prepared for what's going to happen. Also, too, definitely let all the racers know we will help out with a little bit on any type of support you guys have, any parts they might need to kind of cut out of sheet metal and bend.
Because you made you made ram mounts and all kinds of. You're making inner C's for.
It was nuts. We were making brake caliper mounts, plates for Atlas 4 back covers that were being shot off or something. I mean, there was all kinds of different things that were happening. Shock mounts like crazy. We did some beadlock rims, the lip. We even took some of other guys out there that had already their beadlock rims that weren't fitting on the lip wasn't fitting on the tires that they got. We're taking those parts, putting them on the thing, cutting these $100, $200 rings and on the laser. It was crazy.
So this is kind of self-serving, but it's actually, I think it's really cool. So Bailey's been stuck racing my solid axle car for a little bit now, and we're in process of building a new IFS car, partnering up with Joe Thompson and Derek Baker, building something cool. And they've designed it all in SolidWorks, and you guys are actually going to cut the whole front end and the whole tray of the car on the lake bed.
So yeah, I was just told that 20 minutes ago.
I was just told. We just wanted to solidify.
No surprises.
No surprises.
Did I mention that you guys are sponsoring a T1 truck too?
Oh, see, like all of a sudden, yeah.
Seems so simple. We'll just keep adding on.
If anyone has
The benefits of no editing.
no, none at all.
And you're not on the spotlight with 100,000
No,
or so
not at all,
people.
not at all,
Okay.
guys. So I appreciate that. That's definitely
You
going
hear
to be
about the
fun.
company car, Cameron?
Thank you. Awesome.
We're also supposed to build a full-scale model of a motor too, supposedly, I guess, is what I was told.
I didn't know that, but okay.
No, I was kidding.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for the
Thank you.
support
No, I
of the
appreciate it.
sport and
Thanks
for
for
being
having
down
us.
in
We
Texas.
appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you guys at the bed.
Okay, I really want to hit a 2-hour mark to finish this, and I'd like to actually hit 90 minutes. So I don't want to
You
rush.
saying I'm talking too much already?
No.
That's the way I took it, but
Okay. I felt
you more than me.
I
but
felt a slight insult. It was a veiled compliment. Like you know, we just need to get you
Suck it up, Buttercup. So, I'm gonna go through the sponsors. That there's some changes. There's some new cool stuff happening, and they pay the bills. And this isn't an obligation. This is a true thank you. So, of course, Nitto, our premier sponsor, our title sponsor for the event. It's been we're in our second year of our 3-year deal, and we look forward to more and great things with them. 4WP, formerly 4 Wheel Parts, the artist formerly known as 4 Wheel Parts, rebranding with 4WP, but still the same company. Great products, as always, out there to service everything we have on the lake bed. Brent's here. We'll have you up to talk later as a racer, Brent. And you guys are stepping into the spot that was originally Smitty built. You're the EMC champion, the EMC overarching sponsor. So thank you very much for looking at us, as well as the qualifying days and this show. So thank you. Monster's back, near and dear to you. They've stepped up as part of the Toyo Desert Race Invitational. And I think everybody gets it by now, but that race is a $125,000 purse. But the whole deal for that was going back to Monster and to Toyo and also to Nitto, and to grow the sport was if I could pay you guys that much money, I had to pay the 4,400 guys the same. And we're also going to pay modified guys more. We're going to pay the Legends guys more, pay UTVs. Legends guys are going to get paid at trophy at King of the Hammers, which is something they've been wanting for a while. Just King of the Hammers.
So that answers my, what does it mean for the sport and the industry?
The purse
By
goes big.
bringing them, it's up the purse for everybody. So
Yeah.
we share a little bit of the limelight, if you will, because we're bringing in you guys, but it's up the purse is huge.
Yeah, well, we're all brothers and sisters too. We're all desert or off-road lovers, so I think it's a great fit all the way around. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a little rub here and there, but that's okay because that's a part of the competition. That's right. That's what it's all about.
Optima Battery's back as our presenting sponsor. Jeep is back as our official vehicle, and I can tell you this, where's Gerald Lee at? And Johnny. So Jeep, everything comes last second, but we just finished our Jeep deal. It's a renewal, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but the Jeep deal came back in last week. And after the deal was done, then they called back and said, hey, how do you guys feel about racing a Gladiator at King of the Hammers? I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. I mean, 2020, that's doable. No, we can get you one now. Can you build it to race at 2019? So I said, sure.
Have you told the people that are building it yet that they're going to be
I
building
then
it?
called Gerald.
Oh, just check.
Thursday,
Yeah.
I called last Thursday. The truck gets delivered on Friday, right?
Wednesday.
Wednesday of next week?
No,
It was supposed to be today.
it's supposed to be today, but now it's coming on Thursday or Friday.
Okay, so they had to physically finish making it first, I guess. It's literally a brand new, you can't buy a Gladiator. This is the Jeep truck, by the way.
Right.
And for anybody that doesn't know, it's also a 136-inch wheelbase vehicle.
School bus.
On 35s.
Good times. Let's do this. I don't see why
So
not.
Casey Curry's driving the desert section, and Eric Miller's driving the rock section, right? So, and Johnny and Gerald will be building that vehicle in the next
I'm just left
14 days.
on it, that's it.
So
There you
from the chatter on social media when they launched that and everybody had an idea of what it could have been, should have been, their idea on it, now's your chance. Just email Gerald at Savvy and give me your ideas what to make it.
Okay,
That's nice of
we're
you.
flying.
You want to
Can-Am.
give out his email?
Can-Am renewed as our official UTV, and it's also the Can-Am UTV race, but they're also our official UTV, and what we build King of the Hammers, riding them everywhere is building them Can-Ams. AMADA, we've already talked about them a bunch, but it's wonderful to work with them. Toyo Tires coming on with the thing,
the things.
The T1.
This is where I start to suck. Titan Fuel Tanks, brand new sponsor for us this year. They're sponsoring our UTV series that we're running on the East Coast. It's a 7-race series. Clyde Bonham's here. We're going to talk about bouncers later, but we're partnered with Clyde Bonham to get a 7-race series for UTVs next year, sponsored by Titan Fuel Tanks. Share my coach, Joe Hill's here later. He's going to come up and talk to us about getting in an RV. American Fastback's a new sponsor, our official truck and Jeep outfitter. ARB USA, Big O Dodge, our official dealership. It's wonderful working with those guys out of Tennessee, I believe. Brannick Motorsports, Sam's been with us forever, and he's our Legends class sponsor now. ESOB is our welder still. Fab School, our partner for the Manufacturers Cup's coming back. Jen Wright, Tony Pellegrino. I'm sorting by alphabetical order here, so I end up with Griffin 19 down, but Griffin Radio was our original title sponsor, and they're still supporting the event, and they'll be there as always waving the flag. 8CR Racing, UTV presenting sponsor. King Shocks, the official shock, as well as sponsoring the shootout. KMC Wheels, the Hard Charger Awards coming back this year. The official wheel of Ultra 4 Racing. Laser Nut, so Cody Wagner is now the West Coast Series sponsor, so thank you, Cody. MBRP, the official exhaust. Off the Grid is a new clothing line, so we have new apparel. We'll actually try to make this look good, which is going to be a difficult job. And it's a lot of material, to be fair. So, but
Is that a
okay.
1X?
It was 1X, yes. LX. PCI radios, Scott Steinberger official radio, PRP seats coming on as our official seat. RCB Performance, UTV axle, Renegade Fuel. You can get your fuel delivered to the lake bed, Renegade Fuel. Tahoe Reno Tourism for the Reno Nationals. Rigid Industries, our official light. This does end, I promise, we're almost there. Savvy Off-Road is our official armor. Speed Straps, the new sponsor with the official safety strap. Spider Tracks, 4600 class. And of course, Tom is just all around awesome. Tom Kingston, if you don't know Tom Kingston, you should talk to him. Steel It, our official protective coating. Tensor Tire, the official tire of the UTV class. Warren's the winch, and they're also our VIP sponsor, and we'll talk about the VIP thing in a second. And Yukon Ring and Pinion, Yukon Gear, they're our official ring and pinion, and they're also the modified class sponsor, the 4500 class sponsor.
Well, I think that's a lot of sponsors, but that's testament to what's happened over the years.
You talk about it, you said, you know, what did I done? I haven't done anything at all. We talk about the community, talk about the drivers, the fans that keep it going, but quite honestly, the level that we're trying to push it with the video and everything, there's no way you do that without the money coming in. I mean, they're writing checks, and they're writing checks because they believe in the product of what the racers are putting out there, and it's a really exciting thing to do. You feel like you're checking off a box by doing that. I want to mention those guys, but the reality is almost everyone there has been around for quite a while. And there's some new names on there, but they're really older people in new places. That's what it comes down to.
I think it's a good segue. Let's talk about the media. Let's talk about the success of what the media has brought to Ultra 4 and to the lake bed and to off-roading in general.
Yeah, so Emily Miller's managing our media. There's two different sides of the media for me. We'll have 450 credential media from around the world again this year. And that number is always between 400 and 500, and that's remarkable. And there's some high-end, heavy-hitting type media there. And then aside from that, we have our production, our live production that we do in-house. We're trying to step that up again this year even further. And then TV, another perk of racing, bringing you guys into the fold for us was the opportunity to go to ABC Network National. So we'll be on Channel 7, ABC in LA on Saturday morning.
Nationwide.
2 months after the race ends. So we'll air in April with a ABC 1 hour special. We'll have a 1 hour special for the UTV and the AMC class. We'll have a 1 hour special on 4400 and a 1 hour special on the T1 trucks.
That's 3 hours of network television.
You are very good at basic math.
I struggle sometimes. Us unlimited truck drivers. I think you kind of breezed over the live show. I think the Jumbotrons, the efforts there.
Yeah.
A little bit more about that. I know you're trying to rush.
No, it's actually stuff I was going to cover later, but it actually works out perfect. It's a good segue. We will have Jumbotrons at Chocolate Thunder and in main camp again. So that generally feels the same way. There's nothing much different there, but our live content, we're stepping it up as far as the quality. When we started doing the live show, even 4 years ago, we did a whole thing with like 14 people, and our staff just for the live show production is 38 for this year. So that gives you an idea of what we're doing and what we're trying to pull off to give content back and let you guys see an awesome race. So hopefully hopefully it goes well.
I think it's been a huge hit. And I think you guys all agree from all the people, the feedback that you get on the live broadcast is nothing short of amazing.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to showing, we've had this ongoing debate for quite a while about, oh, King of the Hammers live show, that's cool because it's easy to do because you're in the desert and no one can actually do that with a truck race. So I'm kind of looking forward to maybe, occasionally I take things personal and I
Really?
use it as a motivation to do things better.
Would have never guessed it.
Occasionally. So what do we got?
Covered the media. You want to talk about the classes, the schedule, what's going to happen?
Why don't we do this? Why don't we talk about just your stuff so we can boot you and bring Miles up here and talk about the other classes?
Is that because Miles is better at this than I am?
Hey,
It's possible. Let's not get into a competition right here with the live crowd, okay?
I think you guys could.
I don't need my feelings hurt. We could wrestle if you want. I mean, probably get.
I thought we were selling tickets to that. That was part of the VIP.
Indian leg wrestling would be awesome.
We can talk about unlimited trucks. I'm all good for that.
Let me pull up my list here and tell you what I got.
So I can tell you from being an unlimited truck driver and being able to race some glorious races, obviously in Baja. One thing that we're really excited about as racers is to be on the racetrack by ourselves with only our class. That's something that's super exciting. Focal point, the network television is a huge part for us and our sponsors, but also I don't know when or if there was ever a purse like this, but to have $125,000 hanging over the podium is really incredible for our sport and anybody's sport, and I'm excited to see that happen courtesy of Toyo and Monster and Dave and his team putting it together. It's an honor to be able to be a part of that, and I would like to have that big check. Thank you.
Well, go earn it then.
I'm going to work on it.
Sack it up. So just so everybody that's watching at home, we want to know when's going to get to the things that are important to you. The things we're going to talk about tonight still are a brief overview of the schedule of events. We're going to talk about the new welcome gate and what that means to registration, because we're doing some pretty drastically different things that way. We got a VIP area that we've never had before that gets you fed and drunk and watching the race and all have a good time.
Unless you're a racer, no drinking.
Don't drink before you race, correct?
That's what I'm thinking.
You never know. I mean,
I'm going to say no.
we're going to talk about what it means for this whole RV pass thing that I'm springing on you guys. But then again, I got a sponsor today that actually wiped that cost out for you, so that's kind of cool. Kind of wiped it out. You're still going to pay, but then you're going to get it back. But trust me. Then we have porta potties. We're doing some things with that. That's important.
I think we should talk about the porta potties because they're not saunas. I mean,
They are not
go
saunas.
in, you do what you need to do, and you come out. And you can't camp in them.
You can't.
Right? And you should. I mean, it's just not fair to everybody else.
It's not nice. We talked about the TV plan. We've got.
You didn't like where I went with that?
Well, on that note, we're cleaning up back door. Same thing.
Well done. Well played, Dave.
Tread Lightly's doing some awesome things for us this year. We've got maps coming out on Carter tracks. There's lots of information coming out. Plus, we're changing the way we're doing scoring and timing. We've got the announcement of when you're going to qualify, because this is something I think is really cool. By eliminating the registration process, because it happens when you walk in the gate at the welcome thing, then you are going to be assigned an hour block for your qualifying. So except for your driver's meeting, I need 1 hour of your time the entire event. You don't have to sit in line for registration. You don't have to sit in line to qualify. Tech and contingency, for the most part, we're making very streamlined and pretty quick for you. So for the most part, I'm trying to get you back as much time as you can so you can go out and do the things you like to do. But we'll talk about that later. So please stay tuned. Let's knock out these other guys, these guys that used to be all two-wheel drive guys, and now full drive will never work, by the way.
Coming up over to the dark side a little bit.
I'm just telling you, full drive will never ever work.
Let me frame this up just a little bit, because it's sort of been ongoing for years. There was a time when we didn't get a lot of credibility from desert trucks. That's clear.
Not from this desert truck. This desert truck
okay, fair enough. Just
has been there, but I'm listening.
the debate.
Yes.
Let's call it the debate. Our technology has advanced very rapidly in the last few years, and I think from rock crawlers, Ultra 4 racing, we kind of feel like there's things that we're doing that have pushed the technology in trophy trucks. From your T1 desert trucks, yeah, that guy.
That's your first penalty.
Right?
I can't afford those penalties. Keep moving.
Do you guys feel like our technology and our racing has changed what you do?
100%. I mean, just being out and seeing what the vehicles and the tires can do that first year that I was there, I want to say it was 2008, and it was a huge eye-opener for me. At that time, I wasn't thinking four-wheel drives were the way we were going to go, but watching the years as being a commentator and being around the event and seeing what the four-wheel drive can do and did do, it opened up my eyes to say that four-wheel drives are coming, and I think that it's definitely helped greatly with the technology. I mean, the Ultra 4s are spinning a 40-inch tire with the huge horsepower and using a similar type of drivetrain in many cases of what is coming for the T1 trucks. So it's, we're going to see four-wheel drives, and we've seen it at the Baja 1000 recently. We saw four-wheel drives in the mix in the front quite a bit, and recently we saw the Serapis family win a race in their four-wheel drive, and we've seen a number of four-wheel drives in the mix, and it's something that's coming. And yes, I think much of that has to do with what you and the Ultra 4s have proven over the years. Is that right?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think it's great.
Well, you've been around a long time in desert racing. Through the 90s, there had been several high-dollar attempts at making four-wheel drive, whether it was Class 1 cars or then we got into the trucks, and they just kind of came and went. It never really worked, even though they spent
I think they're
vast sums of money.
working. I don't think it's the answer today. I don't necessarily think you have to have a four-wheel drive to compete, which we've proven over the last year in the Score Series. But I think that the four-wheel drives are coming, and there's more to be proven there. And I think it's going to come down to a lot of different factors, different race courses.
Yeah, race types.
Yeah, different race types.
A twisty something or something with a ton of silt, and then all of a sudden all-wheel drive as a
So then it becomes kind of just like our live axle versus
Right, same debate.
independent cars.
And people have said, well, maybe they'll eventually split the classes. I mean, you guys haven't split the classes, so why does that need to be
we started
talked
the right
about?
way with four-wheel drive.
Did I come to get picked on constantly?
No, it's a general thing.
That's all right. You can
Everyone sitting
generalize.
here is going to have the same problem.
No, it's
So
I can't wait to switch out with Miles, by the way, if I didn't mention that.
So I got the drivers here. I'm going to list the drivers out. We'll do a quick commentary through as necessary. We have, so everybody doesn't know, that different kind of format that I think you guys have done. I know that I've certainly promoted in the past. We have, what we've done is we've ranked all of the unlimited they're trophy trucks for Score. They're trick trucks for Best in the Desert. We've ranked them all based on their performance in Best in the Desert and Score over the last 3 years of competition. And then we're starting the race and starting a prologue in that order, in that ranking order. There'll be 2-minute increments. You're a 20-mile prologue, and it's going to be on the morning of the race. You're going to get up, you're going to run your prologue, you're going to come back, your car's going to go to the garage, not to the garage, it's going to go to the hot pits. And as soon as the last person finishes, we're going to give them 20 minutes to refuel, and then you're relining up and going racing, re-ranked based on your prologue time. So I like it. That's the format, and then you're going to go race with 281 miles, I believe, something like that.
I'd like to see some comments online, what you guys think about that. If it provides for the viewers, watching, does that make for an exciting show? I've heard, I guess, both ways from the driver. Some like it, some don't. But for the viewers, it sounds like it puts on a pretty good show.
For sure. Well, I think
thought.
the cool part is having the qualifying be an actual snippet of the race course and have it be elongated. We don't normally get to qualify over 20 miles, which I think is a cool format. The other thing I like about it is it really builds that drama of, is anybody going to make a drastic change to their vehicle between qualifying and racing? Like, would someone, because a lot of times you have so much of a time gap or days, you might change out your drivetrain because you're going to smash on it so hard in qualifying. Well, now you may not have that opportunity. Some people may still go for it, but it'll be interesting to see who's doing what to their trucks, because they're going to be right in front of everyone. There's no hiding. You're not going to the garage. You're not going under your tarp or your tent. You're going to be right there in the hot pits. So everybody's going to be able to see what kind of strategy you've played into qualifying and racing.
So it's putting you off your game, what you're used to.
Some people.
Which could make for an interesting show. It's like a whole new strategy. We don't know what's going to work. So a lot of drama we could build into that.
For sure.
All right, so here we go. This is the This is the order that our starting order. On the pole for the prologue, and he is also the top-ranked driver at the current moment. Andy McMillan. Second, Rob McCachran. We actually have the 9 of the top 10 guys, and it looks like literally 17 of the top 18 are all racing in rankings over the past 3 years. So Andy McMillan, Rob McCachran, Abdali Lopez, Justin Matney, Troy Herbst, Tracy Graff, Tim Herbst, Brett Serapis, Cameron Steele. Think he can move up from 10th in the start, or what's the deal?
We'll see. No pressure, just cruising. Just what we did at the 1,000 all day long, just cruise, didn't worry about it.
Right on. Dan McMillan, Luke McMillan, Steve Olagus, Eric Husted, Ryan Arciero, Bryce Menzies, BJ Baldwin, Billy Wilson, Justin Lofton, Josh Daniel, Adam Householder, Tyler Vodosala, Larry Rossler, Robbie Pierce. Hearing his truck might not be done, but I'm hoping, crossing fingers. Alan Impudia, Dale Dondell, an old rock guy that you guys has been hiding out over in Mexico for a while now racing, but Mike Palmer is coming back to the Hammers, which is cool. And then we have about 5 guys here that weren't on the rankings, but we still gave them invites. A couple of them earned them because they're Ultra 4 guys that have migrated over. One of them in your truck, because the next guy up is Raul Gomez, and my understanding is he bought your winning truck. Is that true?
That's true. True.
Well,
We
right
sold
then.
our Ball 1000 winning truck to the Gomez family. We have another plan moving forward. So
the upside.
that's the first time anybody's ever heard that, by the way.
I was going to say that's news because
That was like a secret.
I'm not on the rumor mill, but
That's like the dam board.
Yeah, the dam definitely broke right there for sure.
Well, he registered it and he put his name on it. I mean, I realize there's only 7 people that come to our website, but 7 people knew about this.
Yeah, but I'm saying that no one knew
Gomez
what
certainly
truck
knew
it
about
was. No one knew what truck it was.
Oh, no one knew what truck it was.
No.
Well, the upside is this. You might not know this, but I mean, your truck is. I've ridden in that truck. It's an awesome truck. But the upside is the Gomez's are extremely easy on vehicles. So
I did commentate some of the shows last year and saw a little bit of stunt work, but
I'm sure
I sold my beloved race car to him.
it is where race cars go to die. I'm just telling you.
Their scrap heap is impressive.
ouch.
It hurts a little bit in the heart.
Love you, Raul. Okay, Pat Dean. Isn't he with your? He's in Team Desert. So he's a
One
Desert
of our
Assassin.
techs,
How's
yes.
that work?
Pat is my driving partner at the Baja 1000.
Yeah.
And so he should theoretically be ranked because the last 3 years he has raced the Baja 1000, but maybe the Fishgistics guys missed that. But Pat will be driving one of our trucks. We currently have a few of them, so we're hanging on to a couple there.
Jesse James is coming back out.
Awesome.
Semi-retirement. So, yes, that Jesse James of cool motorcycle making stuff, and he also has been a trophy truck driver for quite a while with Score.
Yep.
Going to race T1s with us. Jonathan Brenthal, who is everybody knows Brenthal Industries. He usually races a spec truck. He's going to step into a T1 truck. And Nick Nelson, who is another rock guy that has moved over to the big trucks as well. So that's 31 drivers. And that is our starting entry list for the first annual Toyo Tires Desert Invitational presented by Monster.
It's a great list of hitters.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Thanks to the sponsors for making it happen. It's going to be cool to see the qualifying. I like seeing the Andy, Rob, Abdali all right there together in the front and see if they can smash their trucks into just obliterate them in qualifying would be perfect. I think that's a great strategy for them.
I did get a text, an email from someone who was fairly far down the list asking about are we going to have Stella so you guys can push the pass, and I replied no, you're going to have to earn it.
Yeah.
So
Copy.
it's going to be interesting. But we're 36 minutes in, and I want to cover some other stuff. I appreciate you've been a great partner for me. You always. I mean, I can't even count the number of times you called me up and said, "How can I help?" So you do awesome stuff. I mean, how many people have seen Cameron do ESPN, X Games, all the other stuff that Cameron's done over the years? So you've got a huge pedigree. You have all the rights in the world to walk around like you're somebody. and because you are, but you treat everybody else around you really cool, and I really appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Dave. We appreciate all your efforts, for sure. Thank you guys for having me, and thanks for bringing the 2 one-shots out. Yeah, super cool. Thank you, everybody. And that means you're going to be stuck with Miles after this video, I think, right?
Yeah, we're going to go to a quick video clip we made yesterday, and then Miles is going to chat with us for a little bit, but sorry, man. You need to go practice anyway. I mean, I showed you the whole course. Don't tell the rest of the guys in your class, but I gave you the go.
This weekend, maybe.
Yeah, no.
Thanks, guys.
You got that video playing? All right. Get up here, Miles. We got Camo to my right and Miles Hasselquist to my left. So you guys all know, if you don't recognize Miles, you'll recognize this. Miles, say something for us.
How's it going, guys? Been a while. Thanks, Dave. But yeah, got some tough shoes to follow with Cameron. It's pretty cool to have him out here. He's been a big part of KOH for a long time, so glad to see him being a part of it. And thank you, Dave, for bringing me on out here. It's AMADA's amazing. This place is cool, and we're gonna have some fun tonight.
Yep, I appreciate you coming out. And as everybody knows, I mean, Miles, how long have you been announcing for us? It's got to be
Since 012.
012, huh?
012? There's a 2012.
Is it 2012?
So
Is that metric, or you guys?
it's in the middle.
Okay.
But yeah, been coming out since 09, but been on all those live shows since 12.
Right, and you were one of our intern announcers, right?
You accidentally found me.
Yeah, the intern influx of 2012. That's how we got Texas Jesus. We got Simon. Who I can't remember who else we got out of that whole deal, but yeah, good stuff. But all right, we got a lot of stuff to cover, and we're going to get to what brought us here, right? The Rock Guys,
Yep.
Which is awesome. What are we going to chat about here? I'm sorry, I got my list. We have. Let's talk about, before we go into the race stuff, and maybe some stuff about the course that we can share. Let's talk about what it's going to be like for spectators, because there's a lot of stuff happening this year differently.
The VIP sounded pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff on that side. There's a lot more spectators out in some of those extra hammer trails that we kind of heard about.
So yeah, there's 2 more spectator areas in the desert, so you can watch the
T1s.
That was my one that time. Watch the T1s, and we can also watch the Ultra 4 cars and UTVs and everybody else during the same. You can go out there and watch anytime.
So where at in the desert? Is it just wide open lake bed, or is it through the nasty whoops?
One section's coming down off of Resolution. So if you drove up backdoor and up Resolution, then you were heading out towards Melville.
Okay.
Maybe that section.
So a fast area.
Yeah.
Maybe that section.
Maybe that section.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you go another way to get there, but I mean the fast way to get there is just go up backdoor in Resolution.
Of course.
If you were to go up backdoor in Resolution.
That's always quick.
Yeah. But then there's right now there's 12 people out there trying to calculate. Okay, if they go up back door, that means they have to go
Down Resolution.
Probably more than 12.
Yeah. Trying to figure it out. They don't calculate the loop-de-loop that we put in.
Little corkscrew.
There's that section, and then there's the section that heads out kind of near where the old MDR course was at, over towards where the old crossover was at.
Okay.
That's so anybody that's raced out there knows it's 20 lanes wide of two footers.
So lots of
two footers, a
passing
lot of
action.
fun. Yeah, really cool stuff.
Does that replace Cougar Buttes?
No.
So Cougar Buttes is open for spectators and camping as well? Kind of as a...
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Not sure how close that is to the racetrack.
Who
or
gets
not,
to leak
but-
this stuff? You get to leak it or I get to leak it?
I'll go back to being quiet. Sorry. It's a good thing I didn't talk about what I had circled there.
Oh, yeah, no, we can talk about that.
All right.
Yeah. So
Take it away. You know about that though, right?
I'm aware, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm aware of that one. So we're changing the welcome gate. The welcome gate has been the welcome gate right by the bridge, right?
And I'm sure you're having to push that back a little bit with how big town's getting.
No, that can't move. That's
Okay.
that's the whole thing. Everybody's like, oh, make it bigger. You can't. I mean, there's the lake bed's only the lake bed, and then it gets to and if it keeps raining, it's going to be a real lake bed, right? So we have to get the dry. We get out of the wet, and you can only go so far where the bridge is at. That's the end of BLM land.
Okay. Oh.
I think it's funny. I've seen guys because they hear all of a sudden they hear they have to pay $20 to park their motorhome inside. So now all of a sudden I see people camping on Boone Road, and it's like you can't. They're gonna like literally run you off if you do that. But that's I don't care. It's not a big deal. But it's funny. I never saw people camp there before, but they're camping there now. But so where the bridge is at, there'll be the gate, and there's going to be a tent there next to it. So anything that you need that you would have needed to go to if you were media, a vendor, a racer, a volunteer, a spectator,
Parking
anything at all
pass.
that you need information at all, OHV sticker from Harry and Helen, all those things you would have had to find somewhere in Hammertown to get, you can buy them right there when you come in the gate at the tent, and everything's handled for you right there, and there is no more registration times for racers or any of those other
So
services.
trying to simple it down.
It's
Can I
20.
get a shirt there so I don't have to wait in line?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe. I haven't thought about that.
All right.
20, but it's open 24 hours a day. So you've driven all the way across the country. You decide you're not going to get a hotel in Barstow. You're really going to push through, and you should open a lake bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, right?
You're ready for us.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, you can walk in, walk out 5 minutes later, and your entire team is registered. You don't need to talk to anybody else until it's time to go to a driver's meeting and get the green flag.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm kind of stoked about that. I think it's going to be cool. So.
And I did see online for some of the passes, cash, correct? Cash is king at that?
No, cash, credit card.
Okay.
Either one. We'll take it. The upside, I mean, the downside, that's one of the things that I'm sure I'm going to get flack for is we do have the spectator chain hasn't changed. It's still $20. It's $20 now. We're going to keep it $20 until January 18th when we stop doing online sales. And then we'll move to on-site only. And on-site it's $30, which is the same as last year. For the week of events, so you have 8 days of racing for $20.
Fair.
It's okay. It is $20 to bring an RV in. So if an RV or enclosed trailer, it's $20 for the week as well. And quite honestly, it's just to make up for the 20,000 people that drive around their gate because they don't want to pay the $20. And we have to cover the costs. I mean,
I've seen some of those
So-
numbers and they're big.
The tent at the Welcome Center, we got a question online, Cody Wagner.
yes, sir.
Where do we download the course?
PCI Race Radio. So once you're registered, Scott has already committed that once on Friday morning when we're open to the public down in Hammertown, you'll be able to get the course from him. And I believe actually he's going to be there Thursday night when we announce that we're going to release it on 8 o'clock on Thursday night. Scott will be on site and you get all your downloads from PCI.
So that was probably part 2 that was coming next. When will that be available?
In Hammertown.
And
In
it's
Hammertown,
Thursday,
yes.
8 o'clock at night.
Thursday, 8 o'clock at night, the course gets released officially. I can skip ahead. I can tell you, anybody ever down Carter Tracks? Anybody here use Carter Tracks? Cool. So Carter Tracks will have the map and it will be distributed at 8 o'clock in the morning on Thursday morning. So if you can't wait 12 hours and you just got to know where you're going to go, then Carter Tracks can tell you.
So a little insight.
Yeah, and we've done that before, and that's still legit. So the VIP pass you talked about, I didn't think this would take off, and it's actually already blown up. So what we did is, and it's just this is all Jeremy, he figured it out. Brittany Cardone, she's worked with HCR. She is going to host the Warren VIP booth, or tent, which is right on the start-finish line. It'll be 80 by 80 structure. carpeted, couches, chairs, bar, drink, eat, all the food you can eat.
And it
Everything's
comes with
included.
a tour too, right?
You get
UTV.
That's the boy howdy one. That's the one. That's the one you
okay.
get your RV delivered and
Okay.
UTV waiting for you. That's
It's the baller plan.
That's
All right.
baller plan, yeah. So there's two levels. There's the I don't have anything, but I want to come in and do everything. We have that plan.
Okay, I saw that one was.
And then
cool.
then there's the I really don't want to make any food, and I'd like to drink somebody else's beer, and I'd like to sit in a climate-controlled tent and watch the race.
Me too.
We have that plan too, and it's not cheap. It's $950,
But you get a lot for it,
you get to eat and drink for a week.
and you're up and close for the action.
And you're enclosed. And if, per se,
Up and close to what?
if per se you were at King of the Hammers in 2010 and liked watching cars drive up Sledgehammer, and you wanted to have the opportunity again, then the only way you could do that is if you were one of the VIPs.
Up sledge.
So, yeah. If we were going to drive up Sledge,
If.
then they'd be able to do that. They would get
Then
a
you
little
could
while.
see.
But if we don't drive up Sledge, then I'm going to have 300 really pissed off VIP customers. If I
If.
do go up Sledge, I might have 300 really pissed off drivers.
351.
So yeah, something like that. But they're not all going to make it to Sledge. So
So that's on lap one, you're saying.
I know. So yeah, there's that. And right now, Tony Pellegrino is watching from his RV at their lake bed, telling Jordan to get out of bed. We got to go to Sledge.
Jordan's building his unicorn.
Jordan's unicorn is on the dirt right now.
Oh.
Just got it.
We've certainly talked about it internally, and maybe we just got used to the fact, but we should probably talk about the government shutdown and how that's affecting us.
Yep, it doesn't affect us at all. I mean, it's making my life a little harder right now, but I actually empathize for them. It kind of sucks to have to come to work and not get paid. Kind of really sucks. But they're working. There's the key critical personnel are still working.
Okay?
And the way the event works is it's a privately funded event. There's no taxpayer money that covers King of the Hammers in any way at all.
So start time, regardless of what they decide to do, work or not work.
We're working, and like literally.
The event goes on.
Yeah, the event goes on.
No matter what.
It's funded out of my pocket out of sponsors and VIP tickets and racers and everything else. So that
There's a lot to come to it.
that funds the event through BLM, which means since it's privately funded, they have to work, which kind of sucks because they're not going to get the money they're not going to get their paycheck until.
Hopefully it gets resolved by
Yeah, so I empathize for them. If you see a BLM person out there, I know sometimes we get frustrated with this and that, but there's people doing their job, and if it wasn't them doing their job, we wouldn't have a place to recreate. So
And the relationships came a long ways in the last few years too.
it's good, yeah. So we're very thankful for the opportunity. So, okay, we're bouncing all over the place. Schedule of events. Does anybody need to know what the schedule of events is? You get it, right? We're going to race UTVs on Saturday.
Qualifying
Qualifying.
Saturday.
Saturday or Sunday?
Qualifying Saturday.
Qualifying Saturday.
Racing Sunday.
Racing Sunday.
Qualifying EMC
Qualifying
Monday.
the 4WP EMC race on Monday, and the backdoor shootout, which is
Backdoor, correct? The backdoor.
we call it the
shootout?
backdoor shootout, but I can tell you it will not be a backdoor this year.
Okay.
But I honestly don't know where it will be.
All right.
And the only reason it's not going to be backdoor is it can't physically hold
Yeah.
that many people anymore.
Okay.
I mean,
I just thought I was reading and I couldn't tell.
now there had to have been about 15,000 people there last year, and that they just don't fit.
Yep.
It just doesn't work. So I've got a couple things. Me and Cloud are going to talk about some things later about what we can pull off. I talked to Jesse Haynes earlier. He's going to come out in his rock crawler. He asked me, is it worth bringing a 95 horsepower rock crawler? I said, from my perspective, if we design the perfect course, then talent will win either way, whether it's bouncing it up or crawling up. The best will get to the top. And that's what I like to do, and I think that's what's Clyde's thing is we want to put on a good show and find out who the best is, and that's what we're going to find out.
And that's
So,
Monday night.
that's Monday night.
Holly EFI
Holly EFI,
Team
King Shocks, KMC.
and Action Sports Canopy.
That's why you're the announcer.
Barely.
I was going to say, where are you getting all this information? I'm looking at the spreadsheet, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Tattooed.
All right.
On where?
Have you heard about Miles Tattoo?
I have.
Okay.
I've heard about it.
You haven't seen it.
We'll save that one for like Friday night on stage,
Yeah.
about 11 o'clock, waiting for finishers to come in.
Tuesday we're back to 4WP qualifying again, for the Ultra 4 cars.
Yep, 4,400.
Wednesday the 4WP
4WP
EMC race happens, and on Thursday will be the Toyo Tires Desert Invitational presented by Monster. I really need an announcer.
The T1. T1 trucks.
T1 trucks, desert trucks,
There's
going at it.
31 of those?
31 of them, yes. Then Friday, the big show. The Ultra 4 cars, they're all Ultra 4 cars, but the 4,400 class, unlimited cars will go at it.
And to repeat what Cameron said, it's pretty cool for...
There's one more event. There's also the Generate KOH experience on Saturday, which is, Tony's been doing it for quite a while now, and it's actually getting some steam and picking up legs, and what's really cool, if anybody that's watching at home, Tony's bringing that show, that experience to every Ultra 4 race all year long.
Oh, wow.
So when we go to Tennessee and race at AOP for the first time, then on Sunday after the race, Tony and the racers are going to lead you around the park where we just got done racing on Saturday.
Now I'm looking forward to that because
You don't wheel anymore.
that's why I'm looking forward to it. I go out to Kentucky and I see this, but we don't go out wheeling and like.
Now we're going to go wheeling.
I know,
We're
I
gonna
love
go
it.
wheeling
Yeah.
every event. We're going to take it
I
out.
love it. It's like, Camo, go out to this godforsaken remote pit and sit there for the day. And
Turns out I
see
found a
it
way to
tonight.
get my Jeep fixed when I destroy it, so thank you, Dan Fresh. And so I'll be happy to take a JL on every trail we run.
Hey, Dave, can you talk about
The story to get you under warranty.
can you talk about the purses? Is it right now? Is that amount fixed or?
It isn't, but if he starts talking for long enough, I'll make something up.
I don't want you to be giving away things that aren't there. But
He's doing, and right now, little Hun's going home. We can't pay for that. So I don't know. I'll figure out what our purses were for last year, and I'll make sure it's more in every way for everybody.
okay.
But it's just cool, like Cameron's saying, coming from his side of the world, the purchase is not very much. And for Toyo, Nitto, and Monster to bring that to the table for everybody.
For everybody,
And for
is
you to
huge.
stick up, not for just the T1s, but also for the 4,400s, that's pretty awesome.
I'm getting yelled at by Raul Gomez for telling about the. I honestly didn't know, Raul. I thought if you put it on our website that you got a truck that people knew, and I'm sorry.
But that's awesome.
My bad. And I'm currently asking how much was our purse last year for everything and figured out. Matt, how much did Modified get paid last year at King of the Hammers? Do you know?
Dan,
$2,500 per win.
It'll be a lot more. Okay, $2,500 for Modified, right? So that's my baseline. Stock was probably less. At $2,000 for stock, and Legends was $0. So, and I don't know, anybody race UTV and know what UTV was?
Jesse said it's 1250 for the.
Yeah, it's like
for the
1,500 max.
4,600.
4,600.
Okay.
I mean, it was a lot.
It was $5,000.
Okay, well, we will fake it. We'll fake it here in a bit. When Miles is reading off names, I will come up with purses, and you guys will be happy. Now you know it's going to be a good purse because I've got to get out of the parking lot tonight. So we talked about scheduled events. We talked about Welcome Gate. We talked about the VIP area. That's so seriously, I didn't think that was going to work, but it's actually I think we've already sold
Yeah,
there's only 300 seats for selling, and I think already like 87 of them are sold, and it's been up for a day. So
That's cool.
It's working out.
Is the VIP the only place to buy alcohol in Hamilton?
That's not true. Actually, that's not true. You will be able to buy beer at the Hammers this year. I don't know exactly where. It'll either be in the middle of the lake bed. Come on in. What's up, man?
How's it going?
You made it. You will be able to buy beer at the Hammers this year. It'll either be out by that welcome center we talked about, or it'll be right down in the middle of Hammertown, and that's still in negotiations, but we're figuring it out.
Middle of town.
And Hangar 24 is our beer. So. Hangar 24? Hangar 24 makes Hangar 24.
That's the brewery?
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes. That's cool. Where were we at? We talked about Jumbotron locations. We talked about porta potties at Chocolate Thunder and Backdoor and Main Pit, of course. We talk about our TV plan. Cleaning up Backdoor. Okay, so first of all, Tread Lightly is coming to the race this year, and they're actually going to be cleaning up Chocolate Thunder every morning. So it's unfortunate that there's something to clean up. I actually think it sucks. But there is something to clean up every morning because that's turned into a big party spot. But Tread Lightly is going to clean it up every morning, but they're really going to be enlisting you guys. They're going to be hoping for volunteers to help them do that, and then they're arranging for prizes and support from sponsors and vendors to be able to give you guys some payback for your time to do that. I hope that we find good people that just want to do it because leaving trash in the desert sucks. On that note, HCR is helping me with Backdoor, but I need help from everybody else at Backdoor. Talk to the people around you and don't let them be idiots.
Yeah,
because
pack it in, pack it out.
Backdoor's turned into like the biggest party spot every night at the race, and we get up in the morning and before we can even do an event, we've got to go and clean up the night's party from before we can even host the race. That really sucks. If you guys can go out there and take the beers out there, and you can go out there and have fun on public land, pick up your trash, because no one else is going to pick it up for you except for us in the morning. And it really sucks that you guys, not you guys, I'm not speaking to anybody here, but there's a lot of people out there that don't get that. And that didn't used to be as big a problem as it is now.
It's also grown a lot.
It's grown a lot.
But you are correct.
So let's help ingrain that concept into all our new brethren out there. Make sense?
So one thing on the Tread Lightly, what I like about the vendor involvement, it's not that we had to go to the vendors and say, hey, can you donate some stuff so we can con these guys into cleaning up this mess? Some of the vendors actually heard about it and said, hey, we want to support Tread Lightly. We love what they're doing. We want to donate some product to them that they can use for whatever their needs are. I like the way that it came about, kind of being pushed by the vendors saying, we want to be involved with Tread Lightly because they are what they are. It's a great organization that, quite frankly, helps us. They're responsible for, helping keep it open and make it happen. So.
Okay, yeah. I'm excited about the cleanup.
But I agree. It sucks that we have to go out there and clean it up.
I'm excited more to have the opportunity to help change behaviors and get more people cleaning it up without having to organize it for them. But we'll get there.
Just pack it in, pack it out would be nice if we truly not just said that, but everybody lived it.
Yep. Okay. Some other. What else are we talking about right now? I got a bunch of racer information I could have you read. And what's that? That one. Thanks, Chuck. Tuesday night. That's why I needed to read the schedule of events. I'll come back to the schedule of events, but Tuesday night, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. What time did we set it up for?
I think it was later than that.
5:30. 5:30 on Tuesday night. We are going to have the first annual King of the Hammers pit crew competition brought to us by Pro Eagle, Buggy Whips, Raceline Wheels, and Boxo Tools. I got that right? And the way it works is this. The top 3 guys from each class, from the Nationals from last year, including the T1 trucks, are going to get their automatic spot into the competition, and then the fans are going to vote in the wild card spot.
Cool.
And you need to go to Pro Eagle, you need to go to Boxo, to Buggy Whips, and to Raceline to submit your votes to get your favorite driver in so they can be in the Pit Crew Challenge.
Awesome.
So on their .coms, all those votes are up when?
They're up there now. We started doing them about last week. We got some modest turnout, but we're going to get that up. We're going to pump it up, and it's cool. Pit Crew Challenges kind of have this stigma because they go on forever and there's not a lot of excitement. We're going to have some excitement to it. They're going to be dumping fuel. They're going to be changing tires, and it's head-to-head against all the classes. So, Matt Hal, you're in it because you were top 3 in modified class. So you're going to put 4 lug nuts on one wheel.
We have a guillotine. We got the pit of fire. We got all the stuff to put them through. It's going to be awesome.
There's not a guillotine or a pit of fire,
But there could be.
But there might be.
Pro Eagle's making some awesome jacks. I think you're doing a gold jack to the winner or something like that, right? You're doing some personalized jack for the teams that win their class, or something along those lines. But Pro Eagle's the ones that make the badass off-road jacks.
And that's cool too, because lots of these teams don't have professional pit crews, just friends and buddies and all that. So it's cool to see all those guys out there.
They're taking it seriously now.
Yeah.
We'll use Buggy Whip lights. So you'll know who wins. There'll be head-to-head competition, dumping fuel, and then and then which won't really be fuel. It'll be water, but
No, the fuel will be in the fire pit. I'm kidding. It's going to be cool.
Camo is not my desert tortoise liaison. We're using the Boxo Tools impact guns to change the tires, and we're gonna have a good time with it. And Raceline Wheels is giving wheels out to the winners too, aren't they, Chuck? Yes, sir. Wow. So there's cash prizes, there's cool prizes, there's
winning.
There's money. You're going home with money, and you're going to go home with cool swag. Not even swag, cool parts.
Yeah, right.
Cool tools.
Swag.
Yeah. Well, to me, swag's a T-shirt. When you get
okay.
I'm getting a bunch of that feedback again. Swag is a T-shirt to me, but when you go home with
hard parts you can use.
It's like $450 jack, $500 jack, isn't it? Something like that. I mean,
Where's that in Hammertown?
What's that?
Where's it gonna take?
Right dead center. It's going to be right around the Pro Eagle Buggy Whips booth, right in the center on the causeway between the main tent and the fire pit, right there in the center part of it.
So that's the first time the fire pit's coming up. That's on this year again. Last year, we kind of had a revival of the fire pit, and I think that was a hit. Everybody really liked that. Bringing that back.
We're going to all get red hats and it says "Make the fire pit great again," and Tribe 4x4, Matt Howell and his crew are going to be responsible to bring the fun back to the fire pit.
Oh, that's dangerous.
All right.
That's accurate, right? I got that right. Chuck, did I leave out anything that's important? You want to come up and talk about it real quick?
Good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
And one more thing I saw, what's the AMSOIL After Dark live show? I was reading something about that.
You got me all over the map here.
Well, we're talking about,
AMSOIL After Dark. We're going to do a live show, lifestyle. Anybody remember Roxy TV? Chris Ray. Of course, Chris Ray remembers Roxy TV. You are the ultimate kiss ass, Chris Ray. Yeah, you've been around a long time. So Roxy TV was our Roxy. Everybody knows Roxy at least. Roxy used to do an after hours kind of lifestyle show where she just literally chatted up and nothing was politically correct by any stretch.
Perfect.
And now we're doing it with AMSOIL. We're probably a little more politically correct because they're an actual real company and they have things.
They
to
won't
worry
be in their
about.
pajamas.
But so there's a chance there'll be a TV star there that has expressed interest in coming out and hanging out, but we're not going to mention his name right now.
But I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, it'll be fun. But we're just going to hang out and talk about lifestyle stuff. We're going to bring the racers in, but we're not going to talk about the cars. We're going to talk about, did you pee in your seat today and that kind of stuff, and figure out the backside, the stuff that you don't really talk about racing.
Behind the scenes, yeah.
The behind the scenes stuff.
Cool.
So that'll be every night coming from the AMSOIL booth.
Where will they be doing that at? In the tent? In their
AMSOIL, underneath their awning at their tractor trailer.
Okay, at their tractor trailer. Mm-hmm. If it's anything like some of the other things that grew out of, that'd be a lot of fun to show up to. It's
yeah, you should check it out. It'll be on the Jumbotron.
Personalities in our sport letting loose and saying how it really is.
Yep.
That's fun.
Okay. Hey, Joe Hill, before I get to the next thing, come on up here for a second. And then, Brent, you got to get ready because we're going to talk about qualifying in a second, so you might as well start moving up, too.
I had a question while Joe's coming up here. Are we still looking for volunteers? Can they still sign up for a task?
Absolutely.
Out at the lake bed?
Yeah.
And where would somebody that wanted to volunteer to?
Volunteers at ultra4.com.
That's it. All right. So if you guys want to work, put in a little effort, come on out.
So
they have a good time.
Thank you for delivering my house tonight. I moved to the lake bed we all moved to the lake bed on Friday night, and Joe was kind enough to bring over my new home for the next 7 weeks. But you are our official motorhome, official RV supplier, and you've got coaches all over the country.
Absolutely.
What is the thing that you get most worried about coming to King of the Hammers?
A little bit of dirt.
No, just taking care of some of the other motorhomes that come from people's backyards. That's what's on the back of my shirt, because we have privately owned motorhomes and we manage them. So we've got everything from very modest trailers to $1 million rigs, but we don't own them, so we manage them.
Yeah.
And so we provide comfortable beds, so when you get out of that race vehicle and you need to get a good night's sleep, get into one of our motorhomes from Share My Coach and we'll take care of you. But no, we got a good staff there, got about 20 people. We'll be on on site
Yeah.
and taking care of other people's issues. So if you have a motorhome and you need some help, come on over to where we're going to be, and we'll try to take care of you.
Right on.
Parts
But
and-
certainly way beyond racers. I mean, you can fly into any one of the
absolutely.
airports, take an Uber there, your coach is set up, ready to go.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we'll do anything and everything you need us to do. If it's, if you want to pick it up from one of our locations, we're in Arizona and Northern California, Southern California, got multiple locations. ShareMyCoach.com. If you check us out, we got a lot of vehicles and very well priced and always clean. Some of the things we do very unique is that if you need to ship things to us, ship it to us and we'll put it in the motorhome. So when it arrives, it's got everything in it. Order all of your groceries and provisions from one of the online grocery stores, have them ship it to us. It'll be there when you get there. Linens, pillows, blanket sheets, all that kind of stuff that are always second thoughts. Give us a call. We'll provide everything for you.
Maybe like an electric bike, did I read
We
something
got
like that?
electric bikes for you if you want electric bikes, and a little bit about everything. And so, absolutely, no, you're right. Not that you're going to be taking them up that up the hill, but we've got them, and we're very, very happy to be part of the Ultra 4 and King of the Hammers and this whole event. I'm kind of new to the dirt industry, and I'm really liking it. And so I want to thank you guys for allowing us to be part of it.
Right on.
If you need something, email me, joehill@sharemycoach.com, and I'll respond right back to you and take care of you if you need something, if you haven't got anything yet.
Ballpark, how many rigs will you have out there? How many RVs?
We're about 100 right now, but we could do about 400, so we've got plenty of inventory. Whether it's something small and modest, or we can deliver them all the way in, bring them all the way back out, and we can take care of you, whatever you need. So we're just really, really happy to be here.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, they've come a long ways from the early days when we were basically sleeping in the beds of our pickup trucks out there wheeling. Yeah, have your Prevost delivered, groceries are in it, maids will be there. All
I
good.
slept on Shirley's couch a couple of years.
We didn't have couches when we were kids. We had to walk in the snow uphill both ways.
Dave, what about water and sewage for RVs?
Diamond's back again. I think that they are actually doing a like a static location. So if you're not getting the service that comes to you, there'll be a big semi truck that's pretty much open 24 hours a day. And you can drive over there to them if you need to, if you're not getting the service you need. So.
For people watching online, service within Hammertown
Yep.
is difficult at best just because of some of the congestion and the way things get piled in. Are they going to service outside of Hammertown, out in the jungle?
So we actually talking to them about that, about both them doing it as well as allowing me to bring in a second source of service. So we're working on that right now to make sure we get as many people service as we can.
Okay.
And don't dump your gray water when you leave the lake bed.
Yeah.
That is dumb and it sucks, and more suckiness people. Good stuff. I didn't talk about the RV coupon yet, right?
Not yet.
I'm all over the map right now. So there's that $20 RV cost we
Miles
talked
has
about.
got your back.
Right?
Yep.
Just got this in today. Keystone Automotive, I got my notes here, so I'm gonna make sure I get this right. Keystone Automotive is the North America's largest automotive aftermarket wholesale distributor. So trucks, Jeeps, automotive, all that stuff. But they also have a whole section on RVs, which is called NTP Stag. And they are a wholesale supplier and distributor for the RV industry. They're working out with their dealer network that the coupon you get when you come in the gate, when you buy your RV pass, you're gonna get a coupon for $20 off of whatever you buy. So, yeah, you're paying up front, but if you own that trailer you came in on, you're gonna need to buy something eventually, and now you're gonna get your $20 back. So,
Cool.
I was just I don't like raising prices. We try not to raise our entry fees, at least not very much, try to keep them modest. We haven't changed the Spectator things. We haven't really beat up our vendors even, but this is an opportunity. I mean, there's people coming out, and the event, the costs that they're experiencing now are directly related to the crowd.
Awesome.
I mean, when it was small, we didn't pay anything because there was nobody there to worry about. And now there's a lot of people, so we've got to figure out a way to cover the costs. So now you get your money back, and I think that's kind of cool. Why don't you start talking? Does anybody have any questions before I go into other stuff that I've missed? Did I miss anything so far?
You said something about porta potties and then went away from it.
Porta potties we're building an STD. It's a shitter transportation device. We are
Something when you sit in it.
we're moving 10 porta potties from Hammertown out to Chocolate Thunder, and then making a solid base that you can walk up and use the restroom, and then we'll bring your poop back to the Hammertown and put it right next to the poor boys trailer. No, well, we can't get a service truck out there. You can't drive it. You couldn't drive a service truck out the Chocolate Thunder. You couldn't get out up on the sand. So we'll bring it back. We'll service them at night, and in the morning we'll take them back out fresh and clean for you in the morning.
Awesome.
So
And you said back door and Chocolate Thunder?
Chocolate Thunder back door will have units there that we'll just keep there because we can get a truck to there. We had them last year too. And we'll keep them there. We'll service them every night and be ready for you in the morning again. And I mean, that's if there was going to be a crowded back door.
It's a given.
And then Chocolate Thunder will take them back and forth as necessary. I am not prepared to try to get them over to Jack and Sledge yet, but
Jack.
sir.
You mentioned the $20 fee for the camper, and you also mentioned that it's for enclosed trailers. So if an RV is pulling an enclosed trailer,
Just one. Yeah, I'm not trying to get it. I'm trying to.
No, I just wanted to make sure. 'Cause
Yeah. If a motorhome's pulling a trailer, I'm not getting you for 40. It's 20 bucks. Okay. We'll do a whole question and answer period later. I'm going to talk about. We talked about timing. John Goodby's going to manage timing for the UTV section of the race, just Saturday and Sunday, and then I'm actually bringing my timing guy from Ultra 4 Europe. His name is Roy. He runs, I think, like 72 arena cross events, motorcycle type stuff, and he does all of Ultra 4 Europe for us as well. He's always had a conflict, he couldn't come over, and this year he's able to come over, so he's going to manage the bulk of the event, minus the UTV, so everybody will have timing transponders this year, not manual scoring. We talked about cleanups, talked about Carter tracks, got the Pit Crew Challenge, after Amazon After Dark, timing changes, qualifying. So the only other thing I got is the big difference for qualifying this year is in the past, you would know that you either had basically a morning session or an afternoon session, right? So you came and you were lined up for 3 or 4 hours to do your 2.5 minutes of running. This year we are breaking you into 1 hour increments. So you will know, Jesse, you will race at 10 a.m., whatever time it is, you'll race at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, right? And then that's your one section. Come at 10 o'clock, you'll be done by 11 o'clock, 100%, and that's your window. That's the only window of time I need from you.
That's awesome for pre-running and whatnot.
Yeah, because the course is open for pre-running when you guys are qualifying. So that gives you, I usually do that 1 hour window of time from you, then you go back out the rest of your day, get business done, hang out, do your thing.
Awesome.
Come to the Warren VIP tent, because you're done racing. I'm just kidding.
There's
there's
spots
that.
available.
Huh?
There's still spots available.
Still, yeah. So that's how the qualifying window goes. So when Miles is reading the roster of drivers here in a second, he's actually going to read it in that qualifying time window order. So that's assigned and ready to go. The inevitable question, no, we have not assigned garage spaces yet. I haven't even thought about it or looked at it. I keep gathering all the emails, and about this time we're done gathering the information, then I can do it all at once and we're done with it.
Is that the actual course?
This part right here, and then you go, yeah.
You're not going to make them do that.
Yeah, twice.
Is that up or down?
Huh?
Is that up
It's
or down?
up and down.
Oh.
You go up to the top and turn and come back down directly.
Perfect. That's what
It's called the Shannon Camel line. Bailey Cole.
All the garage orders are in, correct?
No,
Teams?
I would still get them today. I mean, if you literally have until tomorrow morning to get me your final. Don't send me another email saying, "Did you get my first one?" My email works. I just didn't listen. I didn't reply.
Okay.
But
Can somebody add to that at this point?
yes, if you haven't made a request yet, make it now.
If I've made it and I need to add some equipment to it, say a generator?
The generator sales have just now gone up. Lindsay, they're up now, right? Lindsay Fisher, you here? I believe that generator sales are up,
Okay.
and they're running. They're not running yet, but
Sure.
we're accepting orders.
So there is generator rentals accepting orders.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. I'll let Miles figure out his stuff, and I'm going to seal his pen over there in paper, and I'm going to figure out a budget for purses, like I said I would. And then we're going to announce that stuff before I can have time to regret it.
So where am I?
You are going to go right here to... So you can start with the UTVs,
And then go over.
Can-Am UTV race.
So this is qualifying.
This is the qualifying order, so we'll start at 11 a.m. There's a driver's meeting at 10. So 11 a.m., that's your group, and then go to
Okay.
12 p.m. and all the way down.
So this is the 4900 Can-Am class, 11 a.m. Knox Griffin, Jake Hallenbeck, Sarah
where's Brent?
Price, Matt Zeeler, Jared Beerzer, Austin Whelan, Jason Weller, Chad Hughes, Stephen Robinson, Scott Lesage, Scott Mucho, Bailey Cole. This is UTV. Trey McKinley, Marcos Gomez, and then that's the 11 o'clock block. Noon is Waylon Campbell, Will Harris, Raul Gomez, Brandon Miller, Chris Barnett, Brandon Schuler, George Lisenberry, Darian Gomez, Dustin Jones, Michael Bostic, Robert Lunsford, Kevin Castro Fox, Mark Morosoli, Madeline Wedeking.
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 Maddie Wedeking. She's Aaron Wedeking's daughter, PRP Seats.
Okay.
And she raced last year.
Cool.
Yeah. So you kill it with the sponsor stuff, and you cannot pronounce anybody's name.
I goof up.
That was the first one he butchered, though. If I recall
A couple of them.
you and I were arguing over it last time. Yeah, we
So
ruined
that's
a few.
the 12 o'clock block.
He's doing great.
1 p.m.'s Paul Hart, Shannon Campbell, Chris Holland, Bailey Campbell, Kyle Cheney, Aaron Henry, Adam Reed, Josh Chapman, Greg Uffins, Justin Cochran, Ronnie Anderson, Matt Magnan, Evan Englehart, Kevin Stearns, Michael Lee. So that's the 1 o'clock block. 2 p.m., Michael Sawyer, Kevin Hart, Andrew Walker, Chase Caprera, and I think I have a ride lined up with him too for the show the course. And his Can-Am. Tracy Jordan, Drew
Nice.
Herderman.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
Yeah, wait,
slow
what?
down for a
Oh,
second.
Tracy Jordan.
Yes. That Tracy
the
Jordan.
old rock crawler?
No, the comedian from 30 Rock.
Even better.
No, no, Tracy Jordan and his brother,
Cool.
old school rock crawler Tracy Jordan, one of the OG 13 Tracy Jordan, is racing UTVs
'Cause
this
he's-
year, and that is so cool.
That
Yeah,
is-
he's been out for a
that's-
little while.
He's been out since like 2009, 2010, yeah.
You're gonna fit in a UTV?
What's that? His beard? No, he's bringing a trailer for the beard.
Okay.
An extra $20.
It's an extra $20.
We'll get it back.
But he'll get it back, yeah.
All right, we're still in the 2 o'clock block. So that was Tracy Jordan, Drew Herderman, Ben Jones, Daniel Markley, Christopher Vask, Blake Vandeloo, Brock Hager, Brent Zimmerman.
I think Blake we have a change there. Blake's going to have an alternate driver drive for him. Unfortunately, he's not going to make the race. I don't have his driver, but we'll get it up there updated
Okay.
for him. But unfortunately, Blake's not going to be in the seat.
Brent Zimmerman, Louis Gallardo, Jim Hennell, Ryan Webb. That's the 2 o'clock block. 3 p.m. is John Duckworth, Phil Caliero, Anthony Yount, David Newell, Paul Kraut, Aaron Clark, Joshua Smith, J.P. Gomez, Randy Jelliff, Devin Amon, Todd Fry, Ron Schaefer, Brock Smith, Michael Faltz, and Bryce Menzies. So he's racing UTV and T1. Cool. It's cool to see all these crossover drivers coming over. So Power Hour, that's going to be, what time is that?
Did I miss something? Why would we make Brent come up here?
Because Brent is the 4WP is the sponsor of the
Everyman show.
and the qualifying.
Oh, and
race.
qualifying.
Yeah, and I want to know if I got my camping spot
You want to talk about the camping spot? Get off
And
the stage,
the
Brent.
Prevost.
The pre-vote, yeah.
Go pick up your motorhome. It's outside.
So yeah, this is for the qualifying for the Can-Am class, and 4WP has stepped up for the Everyman Challenge for qualifying. So Brent, you're here and for those guys, so thanks for you
Appreciate that.
being up here. So that takes us into 4 p.m. for power hours. Jacob Versey, Casey Shearer, Travis Zollinger, Cole Clark, James Cantrell, Dustin Robbins, Patrick Murray, Lauren Healy, Mitch Guthrie, and Mitch Guthrie Jr. back-to-back, Brandon Sims, Casey Curry, CJ Greaves, who did very well last year, Johnny Greaves, Mark Burnett, Phil Blurton, Ricky Farmer, and Cody Curry. So that rounds out power hour at 4 o'clock. So that's qualifying for the 4,900 Can-Am UTV class.
How many cars is that? Sounds like a big field.
91. So just shy of 100 UTVs.
That's only qualifying. There's 107 of them
Okay,
racing.
because not everybody has to qualify in these
No, they can
classes.
choose to qualify if they want to, and 91 are choosing to qualify, and there's 107 racing.
So
The
more than last
largest
year,
class, the largest class of the event, because I believe there's only 103 Ultra 4 cars registered. So UTVs are now the largest class in Ultra 4 racing.
Cool. And if you don't qualify, you just get to the back of the pack and it's random drawn from there, correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's awesome to have that
Brent,
many
want to make a
UTVs.
prediction? Who's your favorite to win this?
Greaves got pretty good.
Yeah,
Greaves
both
pretty
of them
good,
did
yeah.
very well.
Okay.
Had some bad luck last year, so we'll see how this year goes.
Guthrie.
Hopefully
You got a dark horse for me?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
But both Guthries have been
Yeah,
done
Guthrie's
very well.
I mean, it's going to be a great race, and it's amazing to see that UTVs have, how much they've improved. Now they're not breaking so much, and it's going to be quite the race.
I wouldn't have a clue who the favorite is, I'll admit that, but I have a personal favorite, so I'm going to pick Casey Shearer.
Yeah, they're going to have to go.
That's my sentimental,
There's gonna be-
got to make it happen.
There'll be another T1. There's
Yes.
a T1 driver that's not registered yet, and then another, and he is also racing
Casey will beat
UTVs.
him.
Robbie Gordon's racing. So
Casey will beat
Awesome.
him.
He's over in Dakar right now.
he's over in
Shearer and
Dakar.
Curry are definitely my. That's who I want them. They're old
Right.
guys, and that's what I want to see
Who
win.
was
but,
that? Your pick?
Shearer and
Okay.
Curry,
Yep.
Cody Curry and
Casey?
Casey.
So that's your sentimental pick?
That's my sentimental pick.
Yeah.
They're old friends, and I want to see them do
Right.
well.
I toured their plant today. They got a
Yeah,
cool
amazing
shop,
facility in
yeah.
Corona. Yeah.
My pick's Brendan Sims.
All right.
That's who I'm picking.
There's a lot of good names.
And I'm
Yeah, it's a tough list for sure.
6 hours and 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So that was another thing I've heard.
I don't even know what day it's on, so what time it's going to be,
is
forget it.
It's only an 8-hour race, but you added like 40 miles to it. Some people are nervous and aren't going to be able to make it, but this is a hard race. You don't need everybody to finish. Is that kind of
Life is difficult sometimes.
so? The extra mileage and the same time is.
I don't know if it's a matter of us needing anybody to finish. I think it's they want to finish.
Yep.
I know I want cars to finish.
Yeah,
I do.
but you think the
It-
6-hour mark?
There's nothing awesome about people going home broken and pissed off, but there's also something awesome about people going home and realize that if they finish, they accomplish something that no one else accomplished.
Yep.
So make it hard.
You want me to do the shootout too, correct?
Guess we'll get Clyde up for the show. Let's
right.
do
Do
EMC.
Everyman, yep.
We'll do EMC, then we'll bring Clyde up for the shootout, and then we'll do 4400s. I need a couple things that I want to cover real quick.
Yep.
And then I actually got a purse together already. We're good to go on that.
Quick and easy.
Some things that I neglected to talk about earlier. On January 18th, we're closing down online sales. So all of it, registration, spectators, everything stops on January 18th online. Then everything needs to be on site at that point.
So you have 9 days to do it online.
You have 9 days to do it online, and then I got to shut it down because we got to regroup and get ready to process it all.
So with our Welcome Center, and you do it online, that's going to speed you through. That's going to consolidate the process.
So the way the Welcome Center
Trying to
work, and
alleviate
that's
the line.
The thing I need to talk about, the way the Welcome Center work, when you come down Boone Road, so this is driver, vendors, media, volunteer, staff, anybody but the regular spectator coming through the front gate, right? When you come down Boone Road and you get to the 90 left, where Barnes Road comes in from the right and you're facing the bridge. When you get to that point, I was fortunate enough to be able to lease the 20 acres of land that goes from that corner to the bridge. So for 800 feet off of the road there is our area to do work. You're, as a racer, vendor, spectator, racer, vendor, media, staff, volunteer, you'll go through that corner into a parking lot, and the parking lot will be lined up like if you were lining, there'll be 4 wide, and you just pull to the front of your line, get out of your car and walk into the tent. The tent's right there, and then all of your registration happens right there. So you can get everything done, knock it out, sign all your stuff, get your wristbands, get in your truck and go in.
And you said that's 24 hours a day?
24 hours a day from the 25th on, from 8
Get done
o'clock in
and
the morning.
focus on
to
some
25th.
racing.
Yeah.
Not be
Yep.
messing around and worrying.
So I'm the team manager and I show up and we do our registration. I've got 3 guys coming in tomorrow.
Yep.
The wristbands are left at will call right there for them. When
Yes,
they
'cause
arrive, they need to go to the Welcome Center to get their wristbands.
Yes, sir.
The team doesn't take them to the lake bed because they won't
No.
be able to access the lake bed
And you
without going
and
through
we
the Welcome
also
Center.
need to put your wristband on your arm because your arm is tied. Your wristband is tied to your waiver signature. Yes. So, yeah.
Okay.
So individual.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So those are 2 big things there: purse, and then
Everyman.
anything new happening with 4WP?
No, we'll be out there strong. We're going to have UTV parts. We're going to have our normal truck and Jeep parts, daily deliveries every day. We'll have a phone number you can call if you break late in the afternoon, you need something in the morning. So really trying to step up the service this year.
And you're the new sponsor for the Everyman
We
Challenge.
are the new sponsor. We're sort of
Well-
still the old sponsor, but yeah, a lot stronger presence with 4WP four-wheel parts. So we think we'll bring a lot more value and a lot more excitement to that racing. Can throw a lot more at it, to be honest.
Cool.
A little bigger armor of the company.
So I did some basic math. We paid $2,500 to the winner, $1,500 to second, $1,000 to third, across the board for UTVs, modified, and stock last year. We didn't pay anything to Legends because it's a trophy class. So 2019, that's $14,000 that went out to those 3 classes. We'll do $40,000 out. $5,000 to the winner, $2,500 second, $1,500 to third, across the board, including Legends class. So if I do basic math, that actually rounds out perfectly. That means the total payout in cash on the lake bed will be $300,000 for the event. 125 for T1, 125 for Ultra 4, 40 for the EMC and UTVs, and 10,000 for the shootout. That gets us to an even $300,000.
$20 at a time per trailer.
How many are you bringing in?
I bring like 7.
Bring your trailers. I need to announce the King of the Hammers trailer show.
Shine and show.
So shine and show. Yep. So all right. So that's it. We'll pay that out, and we also have Pit Crew Challenge. We have to be paying. I think we're paying out at least like $7,000-8,000 through that as well, right? Yeah. So we're not
Cash
rounding
and
anymore.
parts?
So now we just got to round it. We need to get the 400 then. If we broke 300,
300 plus.
just blow right through.
Might as
What's
well.
that? Around 50? Just keep adding zeros?
You can give the overall guy like 10 grand.
Yeah. What's that?
You can give the overall EMC guy 10 grand.
Oh.
Why does that concern you?
Yeah.
Take a kill of this pillow race.
Yeah, does Savvy Off-Road want to sponsor an overall purse to them? How brazen do you feel? Why don't you put up 10 grand to the overall EMC winner, because you're always
I like to
winning.
pay myself then.
Yeah, so take a bet. Come on, you got this.
And then you could take us to Cabo with the winnings. It'll be awesome.
It'll be Thailand.
Thailand.
Oh, that works too.
So you're stepping up?
He loves you.
I think he said I love you. I'm pretty sure he said I love you.
Yeah.
Brent, on a personal note,
I'm not doing the 10 grand.
No, not
I'm
personal.
already in
parts.
this way deep.
but you're bringing quite a few trailers, so we're all right.
I am, man.
Are you racing this year?
I am definitely racing. Car is ready to go. I think it goes on the dyno next week.
Nice.
New engine, everything's brand new. So
Bender
pre-runner's
driven?
already loaded in the semi. Razors are loaded. We're ready to go. Been out
Bender
busting-
co-driving?
Bender's co-driving. Unless something changed. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, Bender's definitely co-driving. We built a new pit trailer for the remote pit that has the fuel tank that raises up and everything. It's really cool, all the tools, so really
I
stepping
can get
it
my
up.
parts sent out there, right?
What's that?
I can order my parts from 4WP and have them sent out there?
To the remote pit? Sure. What the heck, why not?
Right on.
But yeah, you can
Glad
order
to hear it,
parts
though.
here if you need them delivered to the lake bed. You're coming across the country, they could be out there in our trailer waiting, no problem, of course.
Awesome. Yeah, you've been with us a long time, and thank you.
Yep, and really excited, we're ready to race, and glad to be sponsoring so many different of the races and being involved. So
Yeah.
it's been a long time partnership, and it's really a big family now. So looking forward to another year of arguing with the family. Just like
Fun,
Christmas.
fun, yeah. So speaking of 4WP, this is the Everyman Challenge. Thanks for sponsoring that. 10 o'clock for qualifying. Daniel Sack, Scott Foley, Kent Foltz, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Schultz, Dustin Friesen, Michael Keesley, Shane Smith, Mike Stokes, Earl Christie, Sean Leonardini,
Leonardini.
Yeah, that was close. Jesse Lee, Christopher Doria, Daniel May Applegate, Joey Simon, Simeon. All right.
There's extra vowels there.
Yeah, they kind of flow. So that's the 10 o'clock block. 11 a.m., Dwayne Garrettson, Corey Burge, Cody Young, Craig Allen, Mike Miller, Sean McBride, Chris Borowick, Lyndon Shepard, Peter Fierro, Christian Thordson, Bunch Jason?
Jason Bunch,
Yeah,
just
okay,
backwards.
Yeah, I saw his card.
It's a
at the
bunch
wrap
of
shop.
Jasons, yep.
So Jason Bunch, Wade Coleman, that's the 11 o'clock block. High noon is Justin Day, Scott Morse,
Keep going. Can you read it faster? Just kidding.
Jeremy Jones, Caleb Boxey, William Young, Keith Rasberg, Kevin Stearns, Josh Atterbury, Nate Williams, Josh Ebel, Beverly Croy, Arturo Soria, John Williams, that's a 12 o'clock block. 1 p.m., Dawson Allington, he's had a pretty rough run, but looks like he's on the men's.
What happened to him?
He had some cancer, I believe.
Tumor in his.
Tumor, yeah. So he had a rough go right after the Nationals, but's been fighting through it. And
Get it on you, Dawson. Keep it up, Bubba.
So, yeah, Dawson Allington, Jonathan Terhune, Chris Ashton, Jeff Hadamaki, Eric Brinker, Chris Brown, Taryn Halowich, David Norwood, Atanas Mahalov. That's close.
I'll let you go with it.
Yeah, all right. Anthony Areola, David Shields, that's the 1 o'clock block. Computers are new too.
Computers are new to you?
Yeah, I got a phone. 2 o'clock block is Richard Fenton, John Snell, Matthew Long, John Schaefer.
Is it a corded phone? Does it have a, whoa.
Has a dial.
Where's the antenna?
That's how I pay my bills.
BlackBerry and everything.
So Jesse Balter, Don Ratchey, Vaughn Neville, Logan Goodall, Chad Howell, Levi Shirley's racing with us in this class and the 4400.
Is he racing his old sniper car?
Yeah.
Sniper fat car?
Tribes had it for a while, getting her all dialed in, it looked like.
Okay.
Stephen Adams, Chris Pierce, Patrick Beckwith, Eric Wicks, and then it goes into Power Hour at 3 o'clock. Jade Wickham, Casey Gilbert, David Hartman, Brad Lovell, Dustin Sexton, Mike Johnson, John Lay, Dennis Lapp, Bailey Cole, Matt Howell, Jimmy Jack, John Matthews, John Grounds, Sean Rance Sr., Jesse Oliver, Dan Fresh, Darren Dosette, Justin Hall. So that rounds up the four-wheel parts Everyman Challenge.
4WP.
4WP, sorry.
Is that are you calling it 4 parts anymore? Or are you
Still
calling,
4 parts, but yeah.
So both
WP is
are-
the logo's
yeah.
4WP.
So it's both
So I
are
can still
correct?
call it 4 parts.
Yep.
Okay, you haven't messed up earlier.
We don't want to get.
But I like it when you say
penalized.
both.
Yeah, all
It's kind of
right.
nice and get a little more press.
Four-wheel parts,
penalized.
4WP, perfect. So that
Yeah.
is Monday.
That's Monday. Yes, sir. Someone's asking a question.
For like stock class, I know I got like 8 cars
To add?
that are qualifying. The rest of the starting order, are you guys going to announce that starting order tonight, or are you going to do that?
That's the start. Oh, rest of the starting order, yes. I haven't gotten that far yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll announce that later. I didn't realize I didn't think about how much it would affect the stock class, but I will get, so all of the information we've covered, we're going to memorialize. I'll have it up by tomorrow morning on, when I say I, not me, just like everything else, somebody else will do it. But we'll put it up on the website, we'll put it up on the Facebook page of all the information we shared, including the full starting order for stock class.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
That's good.
Qualifying for EMC,
Yes.
your times, is it gonna be, are you gonna be set like that and with all the different classes? All gonna be good, even stock classes, some stock class guys have a better time than some other 45 or 4,800 guys?
No, we'll still start modified and legends mixed. Stock will still start at the back. It has to be that way. There is too much of a disparity, especially with only eight cars qualifying in stock. At that point, you literally have a different race. The starting stock guy might be starting 60 spots in front of the guy that's starting 9th. And that's just, it's no longer a race at that point. It's a completely different environment. So, yeah.
How early do you need to show up for the qualifying? For your hour?
You need to be there 5 minutes before the hour starts. We're going to make this the most efficient process. We're going to dial it in. But don't be late. If you miss your block, you're done. You're a DNF. You better come to me showing me the broken parts that are falling out of your motor to tell me that you got to do it later. Yeah.
It's going to run like Nationals, Reno, down to the minute.
One thing I want to talk about, I got some pushback. A couple things. I got pushback when it first came out that, first of all, I'm sorry motos isn't happening. I like motos. There's probably not a lot of guys watching motos right now because they're all burning me in effigy. But I'm sorry about motos not coming back. But we had an opportunity that I just couldn't pass up with the other stuff. Moving the Can-Am UTV race to the weekend, for me, was a function of two different things. And it also goes back to why is EMC on Wednesday, not Thursday? I want everybody in a single shot car, or even in a limited class car anyway, to drive around the race course on Friday afternoon. And let me know what the desert was like after 4 laps of T1s. Plus, Ultra 4 is going to mess it up again on top of that. But has anybody raced in the desert, like best in the desert or score? It's a different race course. It's a different race course Chuck, it's a different race course for the 200th guy versus the second guy. And on a lap race, anybody raced the Mint last year? Anybody here raced the Mint? Don, again, you raced the Mint last year. Bailey, you raced the Mint. It's a different race course come lap 3 versus lap 1. So, and that's what's going to happen here. It's going to be tore up. Stock cars would not survive even getting on the desert loop after what the desert's going to look like. Yeah, the ruts are insane. So for me, it was a experience quality thing as well. I wanted you guys to have a good race experience. And then the other thing, moving UTVs to Saturday, to me, from my view, the UTV class is still is the up and Sunday, to the weekend, as opposed to Wednesday. It's the more budget side of racing. It's not cheap by any stretch. No racing is, but it's the easier way to get in from a cost perspective, and it's the teams that are less likely to burn a week's worth of vacation. And you could literally show up on Friday, register, race Saturday, qualify Saturday, race Sunday, be home late Sunday night, and call it a weekend as opposed to an entire week of racing. And I'm not saying I was right or anything, but the bottom line is there's it's going to suffer. There's going to be 30 cars. There's 103 so far. We had 25% increase. It worked out. So let's go put on a good race and see how it goes. And I'm really glad we have this opportunity, and I'm incredibly excited about the growth and where we're going. So
we want and hope those guys can stay for the week and
I want to
have a great time. But the reality is a lot of people can't pull that off, but they can still come out and race it.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, okay.
Real quick, back to the EMC qualifier, our driver wasn't listed.
I think you missed it. Go to St. Clair.
I don't remember reading that.
Everything's
Okay.
paid up for a while.
Any chance he didn't pay for qualifying?
Everything's paid up.
Okay, we'll get it right.
No worries. Just
Yeah,
make sure
if we got it. I'll write it down right now. And when we put the stuff out, those are all random stuff inside there. We still do a random draw, drop them right in. When Simon set this all up for me, I think we have 16 cars in the group, and I'm pretty sure I can do about 22 in an hour, pretty easily. So I've got room to drop somebody in, and we're good to go.
Or make sure we're good.
Sorry about that. Anybody else out there in internet land that heard your team not get called, which didn't really happen because you can't hear it not get called?
Your son's hollering at you.
Schneider.
Dave Schneider? That was actually purposeful.
He just threw his cane at you.
Dave threw his cane at me? That's not nice.
At the TV.
That's mean of you to say.
At the TV.
Again.
Again, it wouldn't be the first time you started skating at me. Okay, we'll do the 4,400.
You want to do the shootout first?
Yes, Clyde, come on up here.
So,
You good? You good,
appreciate
Brett?
it.
Thank you very much for coming.
400.
Yep.
All the racers that are here, stick with us because that's our tradition. You guys will be up here in a second, and we'll ask you dumb questions, and then we're going to get out of here, like I said, in less than 2 hours.
From now?
No, we have 20 minutes left. We got this.
Clyde?
We
Appreciate
got
it.
one more list to read. Huh? I heard 90 was my goal. Two hours is the goal. 90 was the unrealistic expectation. Wayne Israelson sings me a song. I can't sing though. It's really bad. This is going to be horrible. But it's something about overly optimistic time estimator. And that's okay.
Miles seems to have it covered, so he can probably just handle it.
He knows it. Everybody says Clyde Bynum, SRS, who's been our partner for we got to be closing in 8 years. 7, 8 years?
What does SRS stand for?
Southern Rock Racing Series.
And if you've never been to one live, one of the best, most fun nights I've ever had watching a race was out in Kentucky. You guys putting on that show. What a hoot. It was amazing.
It's a different style. I mean,
completely.
It's drag racing without a flat ground. I mean, it's bottom line.
Always entertaining.
It's always entertaining, and just like with you guys, the industry in our sport has evolved enormously in the last 5 years. Companies like RCV have stepped up and built axles that don't break anymore, which, used to, they were putting brand new axles in after every run. I'm going to say we probably have a dozen vehicles that are pushing 1,000 or plus horsepower, even 15, 16 horsepower coming up this year. It's getting pretty insane.
That's crazy.
It was, for me, and it was my first time watching them, I laughed at you guys when you first entered the scene and, back, I did, we made fun of you. I mean, that's how it works, right?
Who's this we guy he's talking about?
Whatever. They're all my buddies now. No, I mean, that's how it goes.
The very first one,
some of those things are pretty...
Well, there's no secret.
But they're pretty amazing now.
It was rock crawlers with all down or up travel that were starting to bash up rocks that didn't have suspension.
You can look this up.
Hence
look
rock
it up,
bouncers.
Look it up on Pirate. Look it up on Pirate from like circa 2013. I wrote on Pirate. I remember writing this. As soon as someone figures out how to tune a shock, they'll be rock winning and not rock bouncing.
I remember the post like it was yesterday.
But basically, they were taking rigs that weren't designed to do what they're doing now, and now they've slowly evolved over the years.
They sure put on a good show. I mean, it's exciting. It gets your hair standing up.
It's actually gotten to the point where finding a course that is still exciting but not impossible. That fine line has gotten really, really tight with what the rigs are able to do now.
Yeah, because they can do a lot of stuff. It's pretty wild.
It's pretty
watching those
insane.
guys go.
To give you an idea, like Showtime Hill, a lot of people will remember Showtime Hill and Tim Cameron climbing Showtime Hill way back in the day. It was insane. He was the only one to climb it. 5 years later, we race up and everybody's running up it in 12, 13 seconds. It wasn't because the hill got a lot easier. It's because the rigs just completely changed over time.
So I don't see Tim Cameron.
He don't like to make the trip out here. I think we're going to get to that $100,000 payout mark before we show up.
Are you volunteering?
No. We're going to have to pick somebody out in the crowd. That's what Dave does, right?
Next.
So the shootout,
yep.
I mean, for people that don't know, it's essentially a condensed couple hours of insanity, but your show bringing out to us, and some of our guys are going to participate to see how that turns out.
Yeah, and when it started, I don't remember exactly what year it is either, but basically Dave had called me when we were at Hot Springs and, had the idea to put it together, and we did, and it was kind of cool watching the Ultra 4 drivers and the rock bouncing drivers, get to know each other, and they all had a good time. They pick on each other. Me and Dave had the conversation on the front end. We're like, look, we know people are going to bash each other and pick on each other, but at the end of the day,
it's all in good fun.
They're going to have good fun, and it's a good show, and these guys have a blast doing it. Are some of them a little crazy? Sure, they're a little crazy, but they're out there having a good time.
I'll go drink moonshine with any one of them. They're awesome.
This is a true story. I've seen him snort Everclear.
Yeah, that was in Missouri. I was there for that.
That was the most painful thing I've ever watched, and I've seen people get really hurt, and that was stupid.
That was one of the more painful things that I've done. But hey, I got $50.
Apparently, Miles' memory's not. Miles' memory's something that won't let you forget.
$50 I ever spent.
The hardest $50 I ever earned.
Location for this, I really don't know. Everybody's asking. I know it's not backdoor. It won't be what we did last year. There's a couple different places I'd like to look at. I'd like it to be big rock, lots of horsepower, but technical enough that you have to be on your game to get to the top.
Yep.
But also easy enough to recover so I can pick up all the pieces quickly and easily so the show goes on.
And accessible.
And that was one of the things that's a challenge for tracks like backdoors. Recovery can turn into a nightmare. And a lot of people like that environment, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's not safe. You can't get them in there. And if recovery takes an hour, it's not worth it. You know, there's lots of other opportunities out there.
We did the names already, right?
No, we haven't done names.
Well, let's get to it.
So Jason Bartram,
We're going to miss our mark, Randall.
Julian Garduno, Jason Gray, Kyle Hathaway, Corey Hawkins, Chris Kaufman, Dennis Large, Jason Moon, Andrew Zonmiller, Aaron Miller, Aaron Selden, Adam Ringer, Brett Harrell, Brent Harrell Jr., Colette Claiborne, Jack Porter, Jerry Stevens, Joe Pierce, Justin Haft, Matt Holt, Randall Key, Rob Ingles, Ryan Webb, Stephen Rogers, Stephen Robinson, and Kenneth Cozine.
So I don't.
And
Jesse Haynes'
Jesse
name's going to go on there,
okay.
and if Jeff McKinley doesn't come out, then I'm going to fully call him out for not sacking up, because if he could win it last year, he's got to come back with something. Even if it's that new IFS car he built, he's going to have to sack it up.
And a few of your guys may add to the list?
Possibly. There's a couple that's on the fence trying to get stuff put back together, and that's the big thing is, a lot of our guys tear down.
Majority of those names are all from the South, Kentucky.
My side, it's well, not necessarily just the South, but the East, and then there's a handful that's from Oregon.
A long ways
that seem to
away.
hang out in our
Three
group.
quarters or better across the country.
Yep. We make a little bit of a trek across the country.
That's very cool.
Hey, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Was the backdoor challenge or the SLRS shootout going to be LCQ again like last year's previous, or no?
We can make it that way. Sure. Yeah, if you. Sure. Why not?
Tradition.
Yep. I like that. It worked out fine. I'll sort it out, and we'll put it in writing when we announce it. How many spots?
I think last year you guys did 5 spots for the LCQ from the backdoor shootout.
I think it was 10 actually, and a couple of those guys used it
They did.
partnered up.
James Control, I think, didn't he? No, James Control didn't do it.
Ryan Webb.
Yep.
Ryan Webb was one of them.
Yep. Right on.
And I know, Dave, you say you don't do a whole lot to put this together, but you guys, Dave does a whole lot more than he'll ever admit. I see that side of it, and don't let him lie. I'm sure it's a lot of sleepless nights and a whole lot of headaches putting this stuff together. I don't know how he does it. It's absolutely insane.
It's fun.
And I appreciate
Great
you.
team.
I appreciate you always allowing us to come out and be a part of it.
It's an honor to have you guys. It really is.
Good deal.
Thanks, Vlad.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming out,
I'm
man.
looking forward to watching them, that's for sure.
Before we get to 4,400, we got Matt Howell, was from Texas, was in Colorado for work, and just flew out here for the show. Clyde jumped on a plane to fly out here from Tennessee just to come to the show. Miles came out. Where are you from again?
KC, Paola, Kansas City.
Country? Okay.
Not from California, I'll tell you that.
But the long distance award.
Yeah, there's not even a doubt. Where's my man at? Where's he at? Is he
Got
asleep yet?
spotlights in my eyes, so I can't see him.
Malcolm, come here. Come here now. You're on live. Come here. Get Malcolm in here.
Security, bring Malcolm to the front.
Come here. Come in here.
He's pretty shy, but he's a super great guy. Got to know him last
Malcolm
year.
just flew in from Malta today.
Where's Malta? Dave? No, Malta. The country Malta.
Yeah, that is actually outside the country.
Okay.
Believe it or not, the world's round.
Well, Rick Mooneyham said. I just remember one night.
That is awesome. Malcolm, it's awesome to have you back.
Thank you.
I told Jesus I'd have you home by 10, so we'll finish up here right now. We have 10 minutes to do this. I need all the racers that are in the room, come on up here. All the racers in the room, come on up here. While they're doing that, we're going to do the 4,400 qualifying times. 8 a.m., Josh Barkey. Nicholas Montador from France. Quentin Hilburn. Jeff McKinley. Inaki Aguia. He's from Europe. He's from Portugal as well. Cody Addington, Jason Waits, Jimmy Hoppy, Mark Nicholson, Randy Watson, Dan Fresh. 9 a.m. is our LCQ block. James Haskin, James Sweeney, Fabio Mano, Mark Hamilton, Eric Wicks, Kevin Hart, Derek Lutka, Brian McVeigh, Robert Osborne, Nate Geese, Scott Pfister, Aaron Patrick, and Kenneth Goodall.
And how many of those get in?
I think I figured out why, because I got Dave Schneider qualifying in 4,400. That's what he's.
He's got the fastest car.
No, he doesn't, because Dave gave up his car back to Bailey. Dave's racing the old Meckman car.
Still the fastest car.
So I think I found our problems, DSI, because I've got you in 4,400 somehow. It might be because of your old racing profile. So thank you for paying Ultra 4 fees to race Legends class. Sam Collins, Brian Cross, Marcos Gomez, Dustin Eisenhower, Stan Haynes, Matt Thorson, Jeremy Brown. 11 a.m., Michael Bergman, Daryl Kresbeck, Kyle Wickham. There's those guys, Kyle and Jay built a new car. Dan Wyrick, another Joe Thompson car. Greg Adler, I believe he's racing with Rob Mack again, right?
Looks that way.
Joe Hutchins, Evan Berman, Aaron Miramon. That's got to be Eric. I think we got a misspell. Travis Cook, Jason Shipman. Jason Shipman's back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We're going to get you guys all, we'll at least get you go through names here in a second, gentlemen. Von Gittin Jr. stepping up to 4,400. Kevin Porterfield, Mitchell Thorpe, Tom Ways in the house. Matt Burkett, Matt Howell racing. You're racing a 4,400 car. Are you going to race a 4,400 car. You don't know which one yet?
We're registered. No, you can
if I drop the Raul Gomez thing,
yeah, you can do it.
well, I'm going to mess it up. I know it's a
It's Matt Carricker's car. It's Keenan's old car.
So it's Keenan Leatherwood's old car. He sold it to Matt Carricker, who is a YouTube celebrity.
Yes.
And he is. You guys are. Is he going to be in the car with you?
We want to take him for the qualifying run.
Okay.
He does not
So
want to race.
we're going to dip the pinky toe in.
And then get him addicted.
Okay, Brent Gegerborough, Daryl Gray, Donald Fisher, Edwin Abd, Michael Fegans, Rick Waterbury, Neville Chiantar from Malta is coming out too. So we have, so one of the no one knows about, Ultra 4 Europe. Those guys have been killing it over in Europe. So this year I decided that for the next 3 years I was going to bring the leading point getter from every country we race in Europe over here. So we've got guys coming from France, Poland, Portugal, England. There's a lot of guys coming. It's going to be cool. So, and that's thanks to UConn and ARB, and I'm sure I'm screwing that up as well. I tend to do that a lot. But people helped us do it, so go check out. There's a tent, all the European guys together, and we're having our first driver ever from Israel. Michael Henn's going to be racing from Israel this year as well, which I do realize it's not part of Europe.
It's close.
It's close. Casey Curry, Jason Blanton, Hunter Sparrow in the 2 p.m. block. Brendan Thompson, Alex Wacker, Cody Wagner, Matt Turbino, Tim Hooper, Ryan Stambaugh, Barry Smethurst, John Hall. It's awesome seeing John race. 3 p.m. block. That can't be right. Why's that name on there?
Chip McLaughlin probably is racing his car.
Okay. Okay, so I got Doug Jackson, but Chip racing it.
He's too old.
Darren Henke, Sean Holland, George Pernesti, Mel Wade, Mark Danzo, Jordan Pellegrino, and Chris Hummer in the Power Hour, 4,400. Eric Miller, Josh Blyler, Shannon Campbell, Waylon Campbell, Levi Shirley, JP Gomez, Rusty Blyler, Paul Horschel, Lauren Healy, Brian Caprera, Jason Shear, Raul Gomez, Clay Gilstrap, Andrew McLaughlin, Randy Slauson. You ever heard that song, One of These Things Is Not Like the Other?
Yep.
Bailey Cole. Congratulations, kid. You know what? I give my kid a lot of crap. You've earned it. Watching you at Nationals this year in a Legends car against Ultra 4 cars, you've earned it. I've given you a lot of crap over the years. I'm proud of you, kid. Love you. Bailey Cole, Bailey Campbell, and rounding out Power Hour, Derek West.
Awesome.
So that is 99 cars. Someone's got to sing me I got 99 problems, and so that's 99. I know for a fact, I know Aaron Kaufman's coming back because he's racing Brian Caprera's old car, so that's 100. I know there's got to be 6 or 7 guys that aren't on here right now. So that's where we stand right now. We got 5 minutes to close it out, so let's go around the room. I see Albert Contreras. Who's back there? Give me names.
Team Tomas Llamas,
Thomas Llamas. What team are you racing with?
726 Albert
So
Gonzalez.
driving his car is UTV.
You're driving his
I drove
UTV?
last year, too.
Have you seen Albert drive before? Jesse Combs, what are you in?
I could be racing my stock class car if you want me to. I totally will. And then other than that, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to race something, right? Are you entered?
Not yet.
So, excuse me, this is for race car drivers, if you don't mind.
Everybody was like, yeah, give it up.
Okay. I forget your name, man. I'm sorry. I know you're with Cody's team.
Yeah, Mark Klingel with 4561.
Right on.
John Snell?
Yep. John. Randall.
Randall?
One of the Ball twins.
Sean and Brian.
Sean and Brian. Who we got back here?
Matt Taglia.
Matt Battaglia. We got Brent Gagaborough. Dan Fresh. Bailey Cole. Matt Howell.
Tony Costa, UTV.
Tony Costa.
Fierro.
Pete what?
Fierro.
Oh, I recognize the name. Sorry I didn't match it. Pete, Mike Johnson, and Don Fisher. God, this guy literally, I suck. And you are co-driving for, I forget.
Jeremy Jones.
Jeremy Jones. Oh, Doc.
National.
Doc at the Legends class. He won the national championship in Legends class, right?
Go pre-run in the 4-seater that you used.
That's right. I did use that car. That was a good car.
Awesome trick out car.
So somebody actually gave me their car and let me drive around the Hammers.
They haven't seen you drive.
It was a good day.
He actually treated that car better than I've ever seen Dave drive any other car. He was really careful with that thing. It was awesome.
So does anybody have their car 100% ready to go right now, ready to race?
Nope. Nope.
Does anybody...
Doc's car's ready to go.
Yeah, but because Doc gets his car prepped by somebody else, that does not count.
Hey, you didn't say. There was no qualifier.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it's not prepped. It's not ready.
Okay.
No, it probably is. Does anybody have a car further away from racing than Bailey Cole? Because I know his is nothing but a bare frame.
Bare frame. Hard on the bench.
A couple of years.
They're not getting delivered building.
Yeah. This car literally hasn't given birth yet. Okay, we literally have 3 minutes. Any questions from you guys from out there? Is there questions from their camo? Yes, sir.
I noticed the Marine Corps gate was open. Is it not open? You can't go there until...
Yeah, no, you cannot go. So, and actually, that's a great thing to bring up. So, not only, unfortunately, we can't go there, just John Q. Public can't go there at all. I'll let them know the gate's open, but that's their thing. They do their thing, right? This is important. During King of the Hammers, less than 10 miles away from where we're going to be recreating at, they are doing active live fire training sessions. Do not go on to the military base. I know we say it every year, we mean it every year. This is absolute, like, lockdown, shut the race down, shut the event down. Do not go on the military base at all for any reason, period. Be aware of your surroundings. Get Carter tracks, please, because Carter tracks will tell you when you're going on the Marine base. It's not always a sign. Get Carter tracks, you can see where you're at. Don't go on the Marine base. It's not only a matter of it's just not what our agreement is and not what's right, but it could put your life in peril.
Yeah, live fire.
And it puts our soldiers' life in peril because if you guys go there, then they're going to be reacting. They're going to be getting off their mission and what they need to be doing about training for themselves. So please, please, please don't do that.
Are we doing flags again for the pre-run?
We're doing flags for the pre-run again. Yes, sir.
Pick those up at main gate? Or?
Camo, tell Jeremy to get flags for the pre-run. Any questions out here at all? Do we have questions online? It's 7:59.
We've covered online.
Huh?
All classes go up back door?
I've already said enough about the course for this evening, sir.
That means there's
Got any more bombs to drop?
I do not have any more bombs to drop.
Back to some of the questions about pits. Will pit crew be able to beat one back to main or no?
No, there's no way the pit crew will beat the cars back from one to main.
Okay, so as previous years.
Yes.
Is there going to be a spectator area at Cougar Buttes again?
There will be a spectator area at Cougar Buttes.
Okay, cool.
Please go pre-run Cougar Buttes.
I think the winner will be over 7.5 hours.
All right. Dave, before we wrap it up, you want to give me your pick who you think's going to win this mess?
Overall?
For 4,400 class?
Sure.
Every class.
And T1.
Let's start with, are we going to have a new king
Paul
this year?
Horschel.
Nice.
I like that too.
Nice.
Pole setter.
That's a good
Paul
He
Horsfeld.
pushed hard last
He's
Another brand new car?
He's building it, but he's got a two-seat car.
That's not done yet.
Yeah. Who's going to win the Pit Crew Challenge? What class? What class car do you think can win? Who's got the? What class think will give us the winner?
T1.
Well, I think Rob McCacker's class is going to win.
You think Rob McCacker? See, I don't know if Rob McCacker and his guys have dumped a Hunsaker can in the last 3 years.
And they didn't build it.
Oh, you saw them go? Did they dump fuel in that competition? So we're going to dump fuel and change a tire.
Is it on someone's rig, or is it going to be on a setup?
No, on their own car, but we're dumping fuel and we're dumping water from one Hunsaker. We're going to make like a dry brake system. So you're going to dump into another Hunsaker, then we'll just replace, and you'll just keep dumping the same water back and forth. But you got to come across. You're going to dump fuel, and as soon as the fuel's dumped, then the buggy whips light goes on, and that lets you touch the jack to go over and lift the car with the Pro Eagle and lift the car, change a tire, and as soon as the car drops again, then that kills your time.
Is there a UTV?
There's UTVs, but everyone's going to have 4 lug nuts on their wheels, so then everybody's got to turn the same number of lug nuts. But they're still lifting a 32, and you're lifting a 40. But put helium in the tire; it'll be lighter. Put a 32 on. What do we got? Anything else? We are 801. Sorry, go home.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think you can thank everybody and we'll sign off.
Yeah, I think I thank everybody. Thank you very much. Thanks, Camo, Miles, everybody. Cheers, kill it.
See you on the lake bed. Headed in the morning.
Oh, all right, he's going to take a picture for this. Driver's going back up for a second.
Good to see you, man.
As all of you leave, there's gift bags.
Take a picture of that, or you want that piece of paper?
What's that?
Do you want that paper, or do you want a picture of it?